Hey everyone, this is Taryn. Welcome to the 100th episode of Needless to Say. Turn it up unless you're at work or with your kid, because this is going to be bitchin'. Here it is, folks. Needless to Say 100.
Hello, welcome back to Needless to Say. I'm Craig, and I am here with Dave and Brad.
Happy 100.
100th episode.
100.
I had to be nice about it.
You didn't have to be.
No, I didn't have to be, but I kind of felt I should.
Dave, happy episode 31.
Yeah, thank you. Feels like 100.
Yeah, right. No, this is it. 100 episodes. We did 100. This is 100th episode. It's not over yet, so we don't know. Crazy.
It's crazy. We've been hyping it up for a long time, and I think we may have made a bigger deal out of it than we probably should have. But you know what? I think...
Well, it was a big deal to us. That's why.
Yeah.
You know, nobody ever thought we'd make 50. If you look at podcast statistics today, most podcasts last about 5 to 10 episodes. And what usually happens is people figure out, hey... we're not that good at this, or hey, we don't have time to do this right.
Yeah, not into it as I thought I was going to be.
Yeah, and they just run out of things to talk about. You know, what seems like a great idea. If you remember back to the roots of the show, we were going to do a Rhode Island themed thing, and we were going to keep it local, and that was arguably the dumbest thing I ever came up with.
4 episodes later,
We
need something to talk about.
Smallest state in the fucking world.
with the biggest news is the furniture guy died.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
I really want to reunite the Cardis. I just need 2 more bullets. Fuck those guys. You fucking clapboard furniture. I would have loved it if that's how he died, where the furniture just collapsed the day after the warranty expired. Fucking Armenian bastards. I once saw one of them because their main warehouse is right next to a McDonald's. And I went into that McDonald's one day, and I saw him eating a salad there. And that's like going to a strip club for a hug. You just don't fucking do it.
Right? Exactly.
If you want to know where their heads were at. Now, I don't wish death on anybody, but you know what? I ain't losing an ounce of fucking sleep about. Okay, the TV commercials just got 1/3 less annoying. Fuck them.
Yep.
Stay local,
They
baby.
did the worst. They did, for the longest time, they did movie parody and show parody commercials.
I remember them doing like they would
South Park.
the South Park thing was
Top
their big
Gun.
thing. Yep.
You know,
One of my favorite things about Rhode Island Comic Con, the first one I went to, is they were giving away these stuffed animals. And it was basically a piece of actual cushion from their couches. They were using this as a promotional tool, and it was 3 little stuffed animals of the Cardi brothers.
Come on.
Sitting on a couch. I've never seen trash bins so loaded with toys. I brought it back from Maggie. We had just gotten the dog. And I gave it to her, and she actually really liked destroying and maiming the one that just died. Something about the way the light caught his felt-covered head. Fuck him.
So we'll be at Rhode Island Comic Con this year, sponsored by Cardi's.
I can't wait till they can take the plural out of that. Welcome to Cardi.
Welcome to Cardi. And then you know it'll be Pete.
Yeah, Ron will be the next one. Be like, oh, we give you the P guarantee.
Yeah.
I bet he did.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Buy our couches, Pete. He was like that gigantic, overweight, always sweating on the commercials.
Yeah. Now there's room for him again.
Yeah.
I bet their pee guarantee is they all sleep in the same bed and pee in each other's mouths.
Jesus Christ.
Hate those fucking guys. The worst furniture ever. And, you know, not for anything, but Jordan, you can eat a bullet, too. So the Red Sox throw a fucking no-hitter. You don't have to pay for the furniture you bought that day. Fuck off.
Yeah.
That guy's got a gullet like a fucking turkey before Thanksgiving. Have you seen that guy?
Yeah.
His neck skin hangs down to his old man nipples. It's disgusting.
It's just amazing because he's got that skullet fucking ponytail. Where it's like, give it up. You've been white for 30 years.
Yeah, he looks like the guy from Pawn Stars.
Well, that's so his wife can hold on to something while she fucks him in the ass.
Yeah. My wife pegs me twice this month. You don't pay for that Barca lounger.
But that peg is solid oak. Heirloom quality.
Bring the kids. There's a movie theater in my furniture store. And then you can go upstairs to bedding and watch me get pegged by the woman who claims she's my wife.
Get pegged by dead stiff Nick.
Yep. So
that's Rhode Island.
That's Rhode Island. Yep.
Come to think of it, it wasn't such a bad idea for a show.
How was everybody's week? Sure, it was better than Nick's. But
my week got better as a result of Nick.
yeah.
I'm still enjoying my furniture.
Yeah.
I went to Raymore and
He's got a
Flanagan.
memory foam casket.
I remember when you weighed more.
I just love memory foam, though, because it moves with you, but he ain't moving at all, man. I wonder if they use those, like, tarps they put in service elevators.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
I can see those guys negotiating the price of the funeral. Well, it's Memorial Day, so 20% off.
Yep.
They have the wake in the showroom. You have to walk through 7 rooms of displays first.
And the funeral director just follows you from an uncomfortably close distance while you sit on the couch.
You're going to go pay your specs, right? Yeah. Hey, you want to pay your specs? It's right over here. Check this out.
Yeah, but tell them Josh sent you.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, I work on commission.
Oh, it's sad. Have a seat on this microfiber couch.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any stains, even from the deceased. We left our brother here for 4 days to test the durability of this material. 2 squirts of a water bottle and a sponge, and it was as good as new. On sale one weekend only.
No, it's funny. Now it's just ropey. Yeah. They had this thing for the longest time was Ropey. It was Nick, Ron, and Pete, and that was their big, like...
That was their catchphrase almost.
Catchphrase. Ropey pricing.
Yeah, it really took off.
Yeah.
It works really well in a country that's already afraid of Middle Easterners. Let's come up with a catchphrase that sounds like a word like jihad.
Right, yeah.
Nairobi! Ba, 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 ba.
Oh, shit.
No, I'm just kidding. It's really sad that he's dead.
Yeah. Nah,
I mean,
it's
for him.
Yeah. Nah, that's terrible. The funny thing is, this just like came across the wire like 3 hours ago.
But it's big news here. That's the whole point.
It's fucked up. It's big news.
I saw a post like a Rhode Island legend died. Like he sold fucking furniture.
Yeah.
He didn't change the state.
Nope.
I just love that I have such an irrational hatred of a man. I bought a fucking discount clearance section dresser for $179, and I was mad that it didn't last forever. And I've held it over his bald fucking decaying head ever since.
Lasted longer than Nick. Next week we'll be looking for sponsors in Connecticut.
Yep. Oh shit. Nah, but how was your week, Dave?
It was all right. I had an odd week, kind of a lot of different things going on, but excuse me. For the most part, it was, I'm enjoying the baby now. Is getting to a point where she's saying a lot.
Yep.
But not well. Like if you guys just walked in the house and she's talking to you, you're like, "What the fuck is this little midget saying to me?"
Yep.
No idea.
Yeah.
I know, but some of the things she says and how she says them are fucking hilarious. Toddler talk. I love it.
Yeah.
So, my favorite 2 words right now that she says are horse and juice. Because she doesn't have the s down yet.
Yep.
So when she wants to drink, she runs to the fridge and points and goes, Jew!
Yeah.
And she's so excited to get a Jew.
Yep.
Horse is my favorite.
I'm just flashing back to a few episodes ago.
Right.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. We may or may not let you in on.
Yeah.
My favorite is horse. She says horse. Now, the baby is 20 months old, for all the women that listen, which is our wives.
Yeah.
For all the guys, she's about 1.5 years, almost 2.
Yep.
She says horse the way Tony Soprano referred to his gumare.
Yep.
She's like, whore!
Yep.
She doesn't have this, but she's got this raspy voice for a little toddler. Whore! I'm like, oh my God, my kid's a fucking racist Italian from New Jersey.
It's almost redundant.
It's almost redundant.
And Ray and I are like, no, don't correct her. It's funny.
Yeah, don't correct her.
Well, because when people come up and be like, oh, what's that? She's like, whore! And they look at us panicked, and we're like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a whore.
Yeah, she's right.
Yeah.
if you ever introduce the word stable, it's not stable, it's whorehouse. Very important that you would put that in her dictionary real quick.
Oh God!
But those two words, every time she says it, it's funny because I know what she's saying. Ray knows what she's asking for. Saying, anybody else walking in the house, be like, what the fuck going on in here?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Why is this kid just running around yelling Jew?
Yeah. Oh, right. But it got me thinking. Like my older two, some of the things they said when they were kids, it still makes me laugh. Like the oldest one, Annalyn, when she talked about coat hangers, called them jack hookers.
And then the whorehouse.
Yeah, and then eventually it merged into like coat jackers, which was a little better.
Yeah.
But Jack Hooker, I was like, all right. My kid's nuts. And my son just messed up everything. He still thinks we listen to the baby, like the monitor. He still calls it a thermometer. When we go to the pool in the summer, he's afraid of the horse bees.
The horse bees?
Not horse flies or horse bees. Just things like that. And he sticks with
this kid.
Oh, he's pretty funny. He knows he's funny, like he's a smart ass.
Yeah.
But like just some of the things he says or has said, and we try not to correct him because it's just funny.
Yeah.
You know, he for the longest time his name's Matthew. He called himself Fasu. So we still call like he'll get presents on Christmas to Fasu.
Yeah.
And we thought that was the greatest thing ever. Like, oh, it's Fasu, that's cute. And the baby calls him Mao.
Mao.
And we're like, yep, Fasus can go in the backseat now.
Yep,
You're Mao.
You're Mao now.
You are a Vietnamese dictator. That's who you are.
See, I wouldn't worry about your baby, like saying Jew when she asks for juice, as
Right.
long as you give it to her. But when you didn't deny her juice, and then she calls you a Jew, then you got to worry.
So that was my week, is just laughing about how my kids pronounce words.
Yeah.
And Craig's looking at me like, what's wrong with
Well,
that?
that's what I was saying. That's why I like them. Like I can have a conversation with these kids and we know what's going on. We're all on the same
You
page.
talk the same language.
Yep.
Hate and stupidity. No. But I mean, really, that was my week. It was just, I had a lot of other shit going on. Nothing worth mentioning, but it's caught me the last few days. And I've just been laughing about it. And I knew you guys would get a kick out of it. So, Brad, how's your week been, my friend?
That's pretty fucking awesome. I learned a very important lesson today, that you can't bust the balls of a ball buster. And also, you can't apologize to ball busters without getting your balls busted worse. I'm not going to name names.
This sounds like a riddle.
I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to name anybody anymore. I'm not talking about names on this show ever again. For what it's worth, I am still sorry. And but you and your husband are due for something. And we're just going to leave that. I'm going to let that stew for a while. Other than that, my week was pretty uneventful. We had my dad's memorial. That went really, really well.
Right, that was last weekend.
Yeah, we sent him off. I know we've talked about this a lot. I don't mean to hype on it. People don't really want to hear all this. But
That's not true.
it was a good event. I think for the first time since this happened, my mom exhaled, and that was important. Good. So that was good. The rest of the week, I don't know, man. I've been watching a lot of fucking DVR shit because it's summer and there's nothing on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I realize I'm at a point where I finally hit the point where I'm ready to teabag Gordon Ramsay. And not for fun purposes. I know he didn't enjoy it, that fucking limey
You know
bastard.
you would do it wrong.
He's becoming the replacement for your favorite recently deceased douchebag,
With the Cardi?
Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
He
The
always
networks I've noticed are trying to put him in those types of shows now.
Put him in
They've got
those
him traveling the
situations.
world doing
He's
shit.
got I was going
Yeah.
to mention that. He's got a world traveling show where he rides a motorcycle. And I just want to throw a fucking thing in the spoke.
Yeah.
You did it wrong, you donkey.
Yeah, donkey.
But at least he has some background to criticize.
Oh, he's a
culinary.
phenomenal chef.
Yeah.
But,
Right, but at
he's
least-
like the Donald Trump of chefs, though. He's
Yeah.
closed more restaurants than he's opened.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have gone bankrupt because he overestimates what a neighborhood's interest is in his food. His food is very particular. I'm pretty sure you can get
Yeah.
that. You know, sometimes you just want to fry a piece of chicken and call it that. And he always adds like 19 other ingredients, like they all do. You know how these chefs are.
They're going to set themselves apart somehow.
But I've kind of had it with him. I think it started when he did the show about hotels. Like, I get the fact that you travel the world and you stay in a lot of hotels. What makes you an expert on hospitality? You run restaurants. That's one component of it.
Professional asshole who
Yeah.
can cook.
yeah. Yep.
You're a douchebag who also feels the need to strip on camera every time. You notice he doesn't wear an undershirt under his chef whites, and he's constantly changing on camera. Like he calls the cameraman over. And so, yeah, I just want to teabag him. That's it. I just want to dip it in there like and let it steep like a teabag. I mean, I literally just let it hit the back, that thing that hangs in the back of your throat, your uvula. I want my balls to hit his uvula, and then I want to pull him out and call him a donkey, and that'll be that.
But you know that motherfucker would sit up, pick his teeth, and be like, needs a little agave, sir.
Yeah.
Salt and
He
pepper.
starts spitting. He's like, that was bland.
Like,
Gross.
I like your approach, but fucking balls. Yeah.
Were those frozen?
Too much salt?
I was going to say, seasoning is not an issue.
That's from Monday, you douche.
Another thing I did, I'm trying to make friends for the show, you know, not only just because of 100, but in general.
We could tell by the beginning of the show.
Oh, absolutely. I should say I want to make the right friends.
Yeah.
Okay, so the furniture industry's out. Big deal. I don't know who Raymore or Flanagan are, but I'm pretty sure they're douchebags too. I buy all of my furniture at Goodwill.
Yeah.
Come for the furniture, stay for the fleas. It's great. But I tried interacting with, there's a wrestler out there. I mentioned him on the show before. He goes by Dolph Ziggler when he wrestles.
Oh, yeah.
But his real name's Nick Neiman. And he calls himself a professional comedian who wrestles to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And he's
All
actually
right.
got a burgeoning stand-up career. And he's the kind of guy who's really trying to get known on that level. He's going to be coming to Providence.
Where's he from?
He's from Cleveland or something. But the point is he's going to be doing a comedy tour that coincides with wherever they're wrestling. Well, they're going to be coming back around here soon. I'm thinking this would be a great get for us. As long as we don't ask him at all about wrestling. I think we do it from a pure comedy standpoint.
Sure.
But I think we can also subtly get some wrestling digs in there, and I think he'd appreciate it. He's a real good guy. He's really funny on Twitter. He's really good with the fans. And so I had a bit of an interaction with him this week. And as much as Twitter's annoying, it really is the best way to get a hold of people.
It was funny, though. Yeah, I mean, you got the response right immediately.
Yeah.
You know, because it was just funny.
Yeah.
But it all worked out.
Is he coming? I know there's an event at McCoy Stadium.
No,
Wrestling?
that's not them.
It's not. It's a different.
No, those are
Okay.
the retirees.
Oh, okay.
Those are the guys who
Well, that's
couldn't
right.
win. Yeah.
Yeah.
They call them the legends of wrestling, and none of them have earned the title at all.
Legends with a Z.
Yeah.
There's ramps that lead to the ring.
They have to do it at a baseball stadium because they need that stupid bullpen cart to bring them back and forth.
The seventh inning stretcher.
The only other thing that happened this week, and I'm sure Craig will cover it in his, but Iron fucking Maiden, folks.
Iron Maiden.
Yeah, you guys went to Iron Maiden last night.
It was
Last
great.
night.
Craig stayed on his feet and not underneath a chair for the entire evening.
Or
Yeah,
some
it
dude's
was-
knuckles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was none of that. Whereas
None of
Slayer
that.
was all about being combative and who was the biggest fan.
Yeah.
You know, I know more than you do. Last night was, I hate to say it's going to sound corny as fuck. It was like a brotherhood, man.
No, it was
Well,
awesome.
Maiden's one of those bands that now I've never really given them a good listen. I haven't given them a fair listen. I know I've heard some of their stuff.
Yeah.
But they're a band that's been around a long time. They kind of set the tone for that genre of music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's almost like stadium metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they've been around long enough with the people going to see them because they want to see this band again, not because they feel like they have this overwhelming testosterone they're going to get out.
Yeah.
I think they go because they're like, fucking A, they're coming back. I'm
They're
going to
coming
see
back, going to see. I went because I had never seen them.
them. Nice.
You know, I had
And?
never seen them before. It was probably the best concert I've been to.
I have a top 5 of concerts. It's a constant rotating thing, but this concert went in there. My only complaint about the
Immediately
show
went in
was
there.
it was too short.
Really?
I've seen them play longer.
Yeah.
How long did it go?
These guys
About
this
90
is
minutes.
About
All right.
so an hour
But
and a
this is a
half.
band that could pull off like a 2.5 hour
Oh,
show.
easily.
And they could. Now, I
Easily.
don't think it was a lack of energy or their age. I mean, they're all in their 60s.
No.
Yeah.
And
you know?
the drummer's 70.
He's 70 years old, and he beats the fuck out of these things, man.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about the Rolling Stones, but let's face it, the Rolling Stones music is not nearly as
No.
energetic as this.
No, their bass and drum lines are like 50s bebop stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And nobody's nearly as ugly as Mick Jagger.
No.
I don't know, man. I'd put him up there. The drummer's nose looks like it's one giant nostril. The way it hangs down. He looks like he just snorts out of one nostril. He could just pick that thing up, and you could just see right into the back of his cerebral cortex. They're not lookers, man. You don't play heavy metal because you're good looking.
No.
You don't play heavy metal because you are getting laid. You play heavy metal to get laid because it's the only way you're going to get laid. It's like some fat hag in the front who's wearing the same outfit now as she did in 78.
Yep.
I'm just trying to picture the drummer's nose looking like the exhaust intake that's like a flood intake on a Jeep. It's just sticking above the windshield.
Yeah.
His big open manifold on his face.
It actually looks like, and we're going to talk about this at length later, but it actually looks like something you would find in a tin of meat from England.
Yep.
His nose looks like a platypus's ass.
But
when it's not flying around.
but the show was fucking fantastic, and I had a blast. And we met a lot of cool people. Met some dude from was down from Canada for the show.
Nice.
Which was cool. Where was he from?
New Brunswick.
New Brunswick. But it was just cool. Met and everybody around us, all the cars around us, we all started talking, and everybody was just like Brad said. It just turned into a big.
It was a frat party.
It was a party.
And there were tons of women there, too. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not being sexist or anything. It was just everybody had this, like, universal love.
Yep.
And this is a band, honestly. 17,000 people sold out. 2 nights in Brooklyn sold out. Philadelphia sold out in arena. For a band that hasn't been on the radio in 35 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so say what you will about the genre of music, whether or not you like the band, whether or not you like his vocals, it's really irrelevant. The fact is 17,000 people came out on a Thursday night to sing songs that have never been on the air. Most of them were released before most of the people there were born.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
He actually brought it up. It was right after, I think, the first song.
Yeah.
He talked about Rolling Stone magazine finally gave them like a good review and a good write-up after all these years.
Yeah.
And so, but the best part was he was like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah. They never needed it before.
He's
Why?
like, that's what he said. He's like, look, he puts his arms to the crowd. The place is sold fucking out.
Yeah.
There's just a crowd, a sea of fucking people psyched.
That's the thing about metal fans is they are loyal to the end. A lot of other genres of music, people come and go. Things,
Yeah.
but when these fans find their band and their sound, they stick with it.
Yeah.
I've seen that like over the years. Doesn't matter who it is, but bands like that, they were a big band that no one really listened to, but they've heard. Oh, I've heard the name Iron Maiden, but they don't listen. They haven't listened. They know who they were without knowing their music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people, especially in the 80s, they knew the logo more than they knew the music.
Yeah. Eddie was the biggest thing.
Yeah, he was terrifying when you're 6.
Right.
Yeah.
You see that thing in a CD store or a record store at the time, and you're like, "What the fuck is that? I don't want to listen to
your
that.
parents-
That's scary."
Yeah.
But when you get to be a
parents
teenager, you're like, I want that because
Yeah.
it's fucking scary.
And your parents are like, I don't want you listening to that. No, what do you mean, Number of the Beast?
Yep.
I swear to God, most of my CD purchases happened because there was a parental advisory sticker on it.
Of course there was.
It was literally the worst deterrent for teenagers ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to listen to this? Slap that sticker right over, or even better, cover the actual artwork with like a sleeve.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just begging for it.
That was the best thing the Gore family ever did for this country.
Right.
What was that one Black Crowes album that had pubes on the front?
Oh, yeah.
It's because it was on the bathroom floor. Where it belonged.
Worst fucking band. Yeah. They're up there with all our other dead friends.
Yeah.
But you know some of their songs.
Hey Little Thing. Yeah, that wasn't their fucking song.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
You know it because of them.
Yeah. No, true.
No,
That's true.
listening to them is just twice as hard.
Yeah, they were the band. Yeah, they were that band in the '90s that were trying to be reminiscent of like '60s like free love rock.
Yeah.
And trying to catch that that vibe. And
I made the mistake because they actually build them. They put them on a bunch of hard rock tours.
Yeah,
and they had no business doing
No.
that.
Yeah.
You'd never be so bored in your life.
Yeah,
watching that fucking anorexic bastard dance up on stage. He looked like his legs were going to snap at any given moment. No one would have been surprised. He was doing that little fucking fake white boy boogie from the South.
Yeah, but somehow he managed to marry Kate Hudson.
Well, it's amazing what money does to your day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was funny. The other thing was yesterday, even though me and Brad and a bunch of our friends went to Iron Maiden, but yesterday was my wife's birthday. So happy birthday, Fran!
Happy birthday! I'm leaving.
Best present of all.
Yeah.
Did she do another? Yes, when you left.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I never
terrible,
loved
but-
this show more than when you guys leave.
Yeah.
It just makes me miss you for next week.
But it was funny, like all week long, I was amped up for I'm like, all right, it's 100th episode. I was excited about it. We had skipped a week.
Yep.
Just to, we took a little break to do our thing, and it didn't go so well for me. I had a rough fucking go at it. I was fucking angry. Brad got a big rant and tirade of 3-paragraph tirade of me.
No shit.
Out of 100 episodes, 98 of them, I've talked about work in my week in review.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do that because I'll just tell you, I hate it more than ever. And then dealt with that. And then my muffler fell off my truck, so that was cool. Pool started leaking, even worse. So things are going good.
Come on, October.
But yeah, and I was just having a rough, angry week. And then yesterday kind of made up for everything. We went to Maine, and today I hung out with my wife, went out to dinner, we did some stuff. Tomorrow we're gonna party together.
Nice.
Have a good time for her birthday. But it was just it was a rough go. But so I'm actually happy to be here.
It's
tonight,
weird. We took 1 week off, and you think we took a month off.
Yeah.
We had a hard time getting going tonight. We
did.
Couldn't get the momentum that we usually have. And I think we're all second guessing the outline a little bit. But you know what? Fuck it. Let's celebrate what this show has become.
Yeah.
Organized chaos.
Yeah,
Well,
pretty
yeah.
much. Yeah.
Oh, if you guys could hear what you haven't heard yet.
Yeah.
That was actually what motivated us to get going tonight. We had to listen to 7 minutes of absolutely obnoxious audio.
Yeah. It was rough. It was my fault.
We need to stop teasing this unless we're going to play it.
Yeah,
No.
all right.
No.
all right.
We're not there yet.
Well, the truth of the matter is it makes all of us look bad. It makes one of us look way worse. You might recall from a few episodes ago, Craig didn't quite know what a trend was. What you don't know is just how far he'd go to prove that he doesn't know what a word is. Now, I will say this about Craig. Say you love him, hate him, you'll never forget him. But he sticks to an argument probably about 7 minutes too long. And that's exactly what this clip is. So you know what, Dave? I am actually 100% behind it. Let me preface it with this. If you don't know by now, or if you're new here, please understand that this is tongue firmly in cheek.
Yeah, so a lot, and to piggyback on that, a lot of what we do, we've all agreed, we show up here every Friday because a lot of our motivation is to get each other to laugh.
Yes.
So sometimes we just keep going and going to get a laugh out of each other. And sometimes, okay, it's some things that maybe not be so PC, but it's still all in good fun.
PC was never the point of the show.
No.
There are certain lines you don't cross. However, because this is a celebration, I'd like to present to you now, because Craig's not going to bring it in. I'd like to give to you now the worst 7 minutes in Needless to Say history. Pretty sure there was a hashtag for it. Like pyramids, hashtag trend.
I have the number one.
What is?
Killing Jews.
Hold up. Something tells me I'm going to need this.
What else you got?
Nothing. That was a horrible trend.
I don't know if I throw that in the trend bucket.
No. I think pegged cuffs on 80s jeans is a trend. I think
everybody was doing it. The Russians,
tribal tattoos.
Germans.
That's a trend.
Yeah. All right.
Exterminating a whole race of people. Not a trend.
That's more of just one wholesale bad decision.
No, that's a chapter in a history book, not a post on Facebook. There's a difference.
All right.
Well said, sir.
What else you got, genius?
Owning people?
All right, moving along.
What?
Wow.
These were.
Do we have next week's outline ready yet?
Yeah. Craig is sitting here trying to be the...
Can you turn off your own mic, please?
You said worst trends through history.
Not a trend. That was 2 chapters in a history book.
Trend.
Stop talking.
If it's got that many chapters.
All right. You know what? I'm going to bite because it's his show. I'm going to bite.
It's not my show.
No, it is now because you're owning this.
Yeah. See what's happening. This is called distancing.
I've never needed to be anonymous more than I am right now.
Well, I thought it was horrible.
Of course you did. And I don't think anybody out there is saying, hey, Craig's racist or Craig's anti-Semitic. I think they're saying Craig's fucking insane. And he's kind of lost. Not to mention doesn't know what the word trend means. But nobody's surprised that you don't know what the word means. I get that. But let me ask you, if there was Facebook back in the 30s and 40s, do you think that killing Jews would be a hashtag? Do you think this is something that people would latch onto? Like, no. I don't know, like Save Harambe?
No, I think it would be more like a secretive thing.
So it's not a trend.
No,
you've already made it an underground movement.
I'm just picturing like, you know what, you know when Facebook creates those things like, hey, someone.
I'm sorry I had to.
It got worse.
It was right there.
It got worse. I thought it was bad because I was thinking about Facebook, like, hey, your memories from 5 years ago. It's a picture of you that's all black and white, and you've got a rifle in a cotton field. I thought that was bad. I don't feel so bad about it
and
now.
Then they make one of those little movies.
Yeah, it's got a heart around it and shit.
With their stock music.
Like, it starts off with a ship sailing into harbor, and then it cuts to you in a field.
Do, and then a bunch of people goose stepping.
And then a heart frame around.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hashtag. Oh, this is all coming out. I can't do it. But I'm gonna continue. Hold on.
Fucking.
I do what's sad. It still hasn't answered the question about whether or not this is a trend. Coney 2012. Prayers for Harambe.
We tried to do it. I couldn't.
It got so worse.
I'm saying.
See, when I brought this up, I was going to say words like gnarly and rad.
Yeah.
And one grody and dope. And then
You
one.
had all mine. I couldn't think. I was trying to think.
I did not have all yours because
Not
I
all
didn't
of
take
them.
grody and rad and you just immediately jumped to the Holocaust.
Yeah, not one of us except you said, let me pull the worst things from Russian and German history and call it a trend.
Craig's brain thing was like, oh, well, Brad already said neon colored everything. Therefore, I must talk about the extermination of the Jewish people.
Oh, he picked bell bottoms. I'll go with Jews.
It was a horrible trend.
It's not a trend. It's genocide.
Everybody was doing it.
No. No. One person was doing it. One. Just one.
He had millions of
I'm
arms.
sorry.
Just one person.
Oh, don't you apologize to us. You saved those apologies for the internet.
Oh, fuck me.
What's crazy is that if Wayne ever heard this, he'd be like,
Holy fuck. It gets worse. I'm sorry.
And we are the worst people that have ever been on the internet.
In my defense.
No. There's nothing you can say. In my defense, doesn't work. Doesn't matter what you say there. You could have Jesus Christ float up behind you and say, he's okay. No one's going to believe you.
No, I like how Dave's getting all high and mighty like Craig was the only one. There is one person at this table that didn't use the word or
Yeah.
and yet I'm guilty by association. If we were actually in George Orwell's 1984, all three of us are going.
Yeah.
I mean, this was not a good moment for us.
No, it was, but none of it, we didn't mean any of it. Like I said, it was all meant to get laughs out of each other. We just kept going and piling on
just
is what it was.
And what we were trying to do was make it worse than it could. Like,
it got to a point where it was like,
how
you know what?
bad can it get?
It's already a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Let's throw some gasoline on and see how big the flames can go.
Yeah, and that's what it was. But like you said too, it was funny. Not to jump backwards, but like you said, we're always trying to make each other laugh, and that's the biggest thing. And one of the things that got me through that day at work was when I sent that tirade to Brad. I was freaking out.
Yeah.
I smashed the fucking door handle off the inside of my fucking work van with a hammer and then threw the fucking hammer into the neighbor's bushes. I was losing my mind.
But what the best part about this that Craig is not mentioning is he spent the week working at a church.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
What the fuck happened? Show us where he touched you. Show us where he touched you.
We all heard what happens when you spend more than 6 minutes in a church. He was there for a week.
Yeah.
And not only that, you were automatically already on your knees.
Yeah.
That was like a fucking buffet to a fat guy. What on earth?
No, it was just a horrible. It wasn't even actually the job. It was all the other stuff that I deal with on a daily basis with other stores calling me and people calling me to schedule stuff and do things. And it just got out of hand and I lost my mind. I just lost my fucking mind.
I thought you were going to tell us that you found a knee kicker means something else at church.
In the big rant.
Laugh at that. That was funny.
In the big rant that I had.
He's in the middle.
Apparently I said something in this big rant that I had that made Brad lose his fucking mind. And then right there I was like, you know what? I feel a little better now.
I don't even remember what it was.
Yeah. I was like, I actually feel better now.
That was a pretty goddamn good moment for you. It was catharsis.
Yeah.
Catharsis.
But yeah, it was at a church.
Well, I think this was a good lead-in. We were debating back and forth for weeks whether or not to ever play that audio, but we are celebrating the evolution of this show.
Yes.
And we are talking about how we started out, when we started this fucking thing. And yeah, folks, if you've heard this before, fuck off. We're going to do it again. We're going to talk a little bit about the history of how this thing started. More importantly, why it started. And it all happened because Craig was loaded.
Yeah.
We talked about this in episode 50. I think we're going to do it again. I think it all happened because Craig said, I want to do a podcast. He had just started listening to like 2 or 3 different podcasts. One big one medium one, and one horrendous one. And he said, I think we can be better than the horrendous one. And I said, God damn it, you're right. Because I had also been listening. You know, when we lost Opie and Anthony, I make it sound like they died. They're not like the Cardis. But I fucking hate those guys. The only way I could bring back a Cardi is if they reunited Opie and Anthony. That would be about it.
Yeah. I bet they put a leather recliner next to his gravesite.
I hope they do one of those weird things that they were doing all over Pittsburgh, where
I
they were
hope
doing
the gravestone's a chair, like an actual. You could sit on it.
It's a stone throne.
Yeah, a stone throne.
If you lift up the casket, there's 2 cup holders.
But the only problem is like 3 years it would be broken.
Exactly. Which is what caused all this irrational hatred for the Cardinals.
Yes.
It never ends. But I think when we were all starting the show, we had ideas. We were going to make this local. And we were going to make this something that locally we'd be heroes. And then maybe we'd get recognized by local radio or something like that.
Yeah.
You know? And it never quite materialized. We
Not
couldn't
by
even find a name for
every fucking person.
Yeah. You can see, based on Craig's audio there, that we aimed a little bigger.
Yeah.
We weren't just targeting one town in Rhode Island. We were targeting most of Eastern Europe. But
Jesus.
Oh, no, don't bring him into this.
No.
We don't have time for that segment.
Join us next week. But we couldn't even name the fucking show.
No, we couldn't.
It was Jiggle the Handle for a while. Then it was Caught in a Riptide, which was just the dumbest fucking thing ever. And I own that. Then somehow we just said, why don't we just sit around a microphone and fucking talk?
Yeah.
Let's just do what we do. But do you remember my favorite part of that very first episode with that one giant dick mic in the middle of the fucking table? We took a break because, again, we didn't understand that this wasn't radio and people weren't like on live listening to it. It was just a recorded thing. So we're like, we're back.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're back, folks. Nobody missed us because they just
like,
played.
There was no commercial there. There was no stop.
There was no break. There was no pause. There was no...
Yeah.
We didn't run to the bathroom or anything. We just said, pause. Hit pause on the computer. And then Craig comes back and he starts quoting poetry by Saddam Hussein.
Well, the whole thing was, it was an inspirational quote. And I read it. And those guys were like, wow, that's like, I ended the show with it. And everybody was like, wow, that was pretty good. Who was that by? And I was like, Saddam Hussein. Because it was like a really inspirational thing. But it was actually Saddam Hussein.
You know that wasn't him, right? That was someone pleading for their life.
Yeah.
He
definitely stole it from...
Oh,
he plagiarized that from someone else. Yeah.
He's just wait, loosen the rope. What was that last 2 words?
Say that again. While I whack the bottom of your feet with this fucking bamboo stick.
Take the water out of his mouth. What did you say?
Yeah.
Oh my
But we had so many like different ideas, and like we didn't know. That was the thing, is we were still trying to feel it out in the beginning.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I get to know you and Brad and Mike at the time, everybody, just from hanging out at your house, and that's kind of when I've gone back and listened, it sounded like that's how it started. Like you guys were just hanging out. You're like, why don't we just fucking record this? Because we're having fun. And that's kind of, to me, what it sounded like going back and listening with an objective ear, so to speak.
Yeah.
We started getting more organized, and some would say that this was where the show got worse. Other people would say this is where the show became a show. You know, somewhere within the first 5 episodes, like we can't just babble. It can't just be one giant weekend review.
So should we start this episode over?
Don't make me cardi you.
Yeah.
I think when we started doing some outlines, there was a little bit of structure, but we kept it loose. Like we do, this is the wrestling episode. This is the music episode.
Yeah.
This is the one about natural disasters. I don't know what we were thinking. I think a hurricane was coming up to the Gulf.
It was the hurricanes and the flooding
in Houston.
In Houston and stuff. Yeah.
So we jumped on whatever we thought was a theme, and then eventually we said, wait a minute, we got to do some headlines.
Which is what they were, essentially, yeah.
So eventually it started being like a morning radio show, except that we had to wait a week to deliver the news. And at that point, it was no longer news.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it takes a little, I've thought about this. It takes a little more, foresight and planning, because you can't just pick on what's in the news today and talk about it today.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to remember. You got to kind of target those things that are bigger stories, but not just the same shit you're going to hear everywhere else. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So you can't just be like, oh, well, fucking Donald Trump was standing in front of a stupid symbol this week that wasn't the presidential crest. Like, all right, everybody knows that. What are we going to do with that? It's different. Not a lot. So,
and making fun of the news isn't novel. I mean, there's a billion shows that follow the Daily Show model now. Mm-hmm. Samantha Bee, and there's John Oliver, and everybody's doing this already. Yeah. Not to mention Saturday Night Live.
And doing it well.
Oliver, I think, does it the best.
John Oliver is fucking
He's good.
Great.
Samantha Bee can
she can disappear.
She's useless.
I don't like her.
No.
Well, she called Ivanka Trump a cunt, and I don't think she ever recovered.
Nah. Yeah, that was
because she was dumb for doing it.
Yeah.
And whatever. She is, but I mean, that's not the point.
That's not the point. You don't say it, yeah.
She wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. She wasn't wrong, but you
gotta like, you're on TBS.
Yeah.
Know your audience.
And not only that, I'd fuck Ivanka Trump.
And I'm the guy saying this. You just heard that fucking clip I just played a few minutes ago. Right?
So know your audience. Well, we don't have one, so we're good. Whatever's left after this episode should be good.
Yep.
I can't wait for somebody like Joey down in Virginia being like, 100, that's it, huh?
Yep.
This is
run, guys.
Yeah. But I mean, watch it. It was adorable. We'd have marble composition notebooks with handwritten notes in it. Now, you think Craig can't type. Try watching him, his penmanship. It's like an epileptic at Six Flags whenever he writes.
Trying to write notes is just an outline of a room.
Oh, shit.
So we had no fucking idea what we're doing. But the one thing that I think did represent the turn, we kind of already said it. We buried the lead here. Headlines.
Yeah.
And so to honor that, let's do some fucking headlines.
Let's do a couple of headlines.
Yeah, not even honor that. Like we're gonna do headlines, but that drives a lot of where we end up going nowadays.
It stirs the conversation.
Sure.
I feel like we found that balance of being relevant with the news, but also tying it back to us and making it about what we can talk about with any kind of meaning, or like we all know what Craig is capable of talking about.
I can't wait for him to lead this segment off.
I got to hand it to him. For months I've said, you really got to open up and let the audience know you, and now they do.
Yeah.
And now we have to work to get an audience.
Yeah.
Again.
Right?
Oh no, we're gonna get an audience, a very different one.
Yeah.
They're all at the straight pride parade.
They're all at Christie's bar right now. Actually, you know what? Before we get into the headlines, speaking of Christie.
Yeah, she sent us a little something, and I'm excited about it. It was fun. But in honor of our 100th episode, we got an audio clip from Christy and Drunk Charles. Here it is.
100 episodes? Who knew anyone would even listen for that long? I found a guy.
It's Drunk Charles, and I've been listening, and I've been liking. But I swear to God, 100 episodes may be too many.
Just kidding. Love you guys. Needless to say it 100 more times.
And don't. From Drunk Charles.
And Christy. He was supposed to say, but don't.
Fucking love it.
Why do I feel like everyone at that bar, their first name is Drunk?
Yeah.
Hey, it's Drunk Jim.
Yeah.
I said this years ago that I had an alarming number of people in my cell phone contacts that are blank from the bar.
Yeah.
Everybody's last name was from the bar.
But Christy's awesome. Christy's been listening since the beginning, and she does the rundown.
She did.
Well, she
did. Past tense.
Nah, she she did a lot of stuff for it, and she's always been loyal, and we talk to her constantly, and she's awesome. So thank you, Christy.
I've noticed there's a core group of people, dare I use the word fans, that every time we post an episode or something, these folks, she's one of them, are the first to respond and comment and interact with us.
Yes.
So I think it's fun to get some feedback from her, and I think we've got some stuff from other folks that listen on a regular basis that we'll hear from. But I think that's kind of fun to hear that stuff. Like, these folks are in it. She's in the bar. She's got her patrons in the bar listening to the show, which is pretty cool.
In what is it? North Carolina? Savannah.
She's in
Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah.
2 states away.
Yeah.
You were close.
I was close. Whatever. I have a fucking map in front of me. I'm sorry. Got you home last night, though.
Would it help? Would it help if you had a map? There's letters on it.
Who lives in all these rectangular ones?
Yeah.
We should make a Rhode Island version of Alexa called Alexa.
Right? Oh. There's nothing more. And I mispronounce fucking everything. But there's nothing more that I hate than people from Rhode Island when they try to, pronounce their R's because we don't.
They try too hard.
So you're trying to communicate professionally or whatever it is, and then they say idea.
Oh,
it fucking drives me bonkers. Yeah. Idea.
One of my first bosses at the company I worked for, her name was Linda, and a guy I worked with was from South Boston. Her name was Linder when he said her name, and it's the same thing as idea. And it's like nails on a chalkboard. Oh, son of a bitch! I just did it.
Yeah,
chalkboard. Fuck. That's it. I'm out. See ya. Have a good night.
You said chalkboard.
We got a whole new T-shirt now. This will be available by the time the episode hits the air.
Yeah.
Shit. Chalkboard.
I
suck.
No, it's going to come right out with Craig's commemorative stars and bars. Needless to say.
But it's funny that you guys say this because we were going to make this a big show, and it's kind of ironic because I want to roll this one right into it because these guys kind of sum it up. But we were going to make this into a big episode. We were like 100 episodes. We were going to have guests. We were going to do this. We were going to do that. And then we realized, maybe it's not that big a deal.
We're back in the same spot doing the same shit.
And it all came from these guys. Great friends of the show. They're great guys. Love them. But here's Chuck and Brad from the Chuck and Brad podcast.
Hey guys, this is Chuck from the Chuck and Brad podcast.
This is Brad from the Chuck and Brad podcast.
And we just wanted to say congratulations to Needless to Say for reaching their 100th episode.
It's a big number. There's 3 digits in there.
Yeah, a lot of people consider that a high number of podcast episodes.
Hey, what number are we on our podcast?
I think we just passed 425.
Okay, so that's greater than 100.
So in 8.5 years, when you reach us, well, not if we continue, which we will.
Yeah.
When you reach this milestone, that's kind of like more of a serious thing, right?
Yeah,
it's
like we got bar mitzvahed and you guys are getting brissed.
Yes, that's exactly right. Like we're exactly. We're getting bar mitzvahed and you guys are getting circumcised.
Yes.
That's how I look at this 100th episode milestone.
That's correct. But still, it's super important.
Oh yeah, you gotta get circumcised. A lot of diseases to avoid.
You gotta get to 100 before you can get to 425.
Yeah, you can't have a bar mitzvah without the circumcision.
Right,
That's what I'd say.
Yeah.
So congratulations, guys. There's nothing I want to listen to more than 3. Well, they're not hillbillies because they're not in the South, right? What do you? They're in Rhode Island, so they're northern hillbillies. What do you call that?
Like rednecks? Does that not work?
I don't think they're rednecks. They're from the north.
It's just kind of like uneducated. Like they don't know anything.
Right?
We're surprised they were able to count to 100.
Yeah, that's right. Their hats are ripped. You know what I mean? Their t-shirts are old.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah, they kind of have that gruff. So
I don't know if there's a term for northern.
Yeah,
you know what the term for northern hillbillies is?
Is needless to say, podcast host. Congratulations, guys.
We are proud of you.
Yeah.
All right. So can I jump in with a quick reaction?
Yeah, I have one as well.
Thank you to those guys. I have 2 things to say.
Yeah.
Thank you to those guys. And I think it's funny to hear a ginger Midwest Mormon make Jewish bris jokes.
Although I think that's the reason Craig liked this so much. I think it all kind of comes together now. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I was going to say, we could easily make 425 episodes if we wanted to be funny and not enjoyable.
Yeah.
I agree, but I got to hand it to Chuck and Brad. I mean, all joking aside, I'm really looking forward to the moment that they draw pictures of that little promo they did for us and then to do it on stage.
Yeah.
Fucking thank you, guys. That was really cool. And by the way, Brad, I've noticed an increase in swearing lately, and I'm liking it.
Yeah.
I need more swearing, so I have a Brad in arms here, so we got a compatriot thing going on. Seriously, thank you, guys. That was killer.
Definitely.
That was cool.
Thank you very much, man.
Of course, they'll be the reason why Craig leaves this show eventually.
Yep.
It's already in motion. But I think after tonight we can agree, maybe not such a loss.
Only if they don't listen to that first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to your new job over at Tell 'em Steve.
Oh, shit.
All right, so we mentioned we were going to do some headlines. Craig put in this headline today, and the headline itself is pretty innocuous. It's 19-year-old college student opens door of small plane and jumps to her death in Madagascar. A perfectly good headline for the show if there ever wasn't. But what made it killer, and the part that you're not seeing, but we're pulling back the curtain on Needless to Say, is that Craig spelled college wrong.
I knew that. I saw it.
I saw it, according to Craig, a 19-year-old collage. Somebody's family memories fell out of a plane this week. Had a nice little embroidered family tree on it. There's some like little kindergarten graduation pictures. Tragically fell out of a plane in Madagascar.
Someone's entire high school life in one picture frame died.
Oh, shit. Apparently she was on a apparently this girl was on a research trip, doing research for a research project.
All right.
And she was in Madagascar. I guess that's where all the best research projects happen. But she was there, and apparently she was failing at her research. Not, it wasn't working out. She was having a tough time. And they said she had been on the phone with her parents. She was leaving. She was coming home. And they said her parents were being very supportive of her, telling her to relax and calm down.
All right.
They were flying over this area. They were on a small plane flying over the area. And she just forced the door open on the small plane and tried to jump out. And the pilot grabbed her by the leg.
No shit.
And she kicked herself free.
Wow.
Of the pilot.
She was determined.
She was determined.
Wow. There was no second thoughts like,
No.
shit, maybe I shouldn't do this.
She was determined.
Wow.
But what got me was that they said she jumped from the plane, and they were concerned because the area that she jumped out in is known to have a significant population of large predatory cats.
Yeah, the Fusa or something they call it in Madagascar.
And what I thought was funny was I would be more concerned about the 3,000-foot fall. Right. I think the cats were the least of the issue. Maybe for recovery purposes, No,
don't jump. There's cats down there.
Yeah.
No jump. Don't jump. The ground is 3,000 feet away.
Yeah, because they were at like 3,100 feet or something when she jumped. And they start talking about the predatory cats in the area. Somebody was doing their research a little better than her.
Yeah.
Apparently. But what I was saying, I was like, it's horrible. She's a young kid, and to get that fucked up over it blew me away, because I was thinking, what she wouldn't have been able, if she was upset about failing at this research project, how is she going to get through anything else in life? I mean, I get it at that point.
If it wasn't this, it would have been something else.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I know you didn't go, but collage is tough.
Yeah. It is.
You
all
get
that
different
paste,
pictures to fit together.
Yeah, all that paste and that fucking construction paper and shit.
So that's scrapbooking. That's different. Yeah. And that's also a word you'd spell incorrectly. But
the funny thing is, I knew I spelled it right. I spelled it. I knew it was wrong, and I left it.
So you made two mistakes on one word.
For your entertainment.
Oh, my God.
We would have found a way to get you anyway. It wouldn't have mattered.
I know.
But to get back to the quote-unquote serious portion of this discussion, it's pretty clear that if she didn't do it then, she would have done it. First time she got an audit from the IRS, the first time her boyfriend broke up with her, the first time something would have happened.
She got fired from a job or lost an internship for something. Because, I mean, damn, you're 19, so it's not like this was her fucking thesis that she was working on.
But at 19, you think that everything's the end of the world, and it might have been. Maybe there was a scholarship on the line. Maybe it was going to bankrupt her family. Maybe she would have to leave school.
No, they said she had funded everything herself. She was, and her parents
was drowning in debt.
Her parents were extremely supportive. So, yeah, well, she's not drowning in debt anymore.
Maybe she was just destined to show up in one of Dave's classes.
Maybe she just loved cats.
Because I know when I want to see my cat, I jump from the second floor and land on him.
That would be great. As if they found, instead of a suicide note on the seat in the plane, it was an actual research paper about 3,000-foot falls.
It's just titled Gravity Wins.
Yeah.
Imagine
that last success.
It's all right, and that gets published.
Yeah.
It turns out she's a success.
I saw this comedian once. He killed me. It was basically, imagine like being so depressed and suicidal, you jump out of a building. I've never finished anything in my life, and then right before he hits the ground, a bus hits him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a good headline. Collage boy.
Collage.
All right. I think we need another palate cleanser. Let's play another bit from one of our listeners.
All right. We got this one from Clay.
Oh, Clay Miles. Clay Miles.
Good friend of the show. Me and Brad have been interacting with Clay for a long time.
Yep.
You're starting to get to know Clay now.
Yep.
Great guy. Great comic. He's out of... He's out of Maryland.
No,
right?
he's in Northern Virginia.
Northern
now,
Virginia,
but DC area. Let's just
DC
call it
area,
that.
yeah.
But he's a big comic, and now I haven't interacted with him myself, but he was a big supporter of you guys when you get the show off the ground.
Yes.
Encouraged you to keep going, stick with it.
Yeah.
And you've stuck with it, and here we are.
Yeah.
Right?
Not for anything, also a mentor and a friend of our own friend, E.J. Edmonds.
Yeah.
Yep. Probably one of many successful comedians he's mentored, I would think.
Yeah, exactly. And Clay, I had sent him, I said, hey, Clay, we're doing a 100 episode. He's like, oh, let me do something for you, blah, blah, blah. And then I didn't hear from him. And I'm like, he's on tour. He was actually touring. Like, he was down in Texas and Tennessee, and he's bopping back and forth. And I'm seeing him on Facebook, and I'm not going to bother him.
Right, he's busy.
And all of a sudden, he's like, hey, I didn't forget about you guys. Here it is. He's like, I sent you something.
Perfect.
And this is what Clay sent us.
Hey, this is Clay Miles. I wanted to give a big shout out to Needless to Motherfucking Say, the podcast that has taken over the nation. I was been messing around with these guys for a minute, and they are hilarious. And I want to say congratulations on your 100th episode. I almost said 1,000 because that's how many it seemed like, because that's how funny you guys are. I'm just saying. All right. I have to watch your show or listen to your show with freaking Depends on because I'm laughing so much. And I'm a professional comedian. It's a little upsetting. But I love you guys. Keep doing your thing. And I'm looking forward to the next 100. Later.
That's fucking killer.
That was Clay.
That's pretty cool.
That's
just to
my
clarify,
man, Clay.
though, we don't think we're taking over the nation.
No.
If you listen to Craig earlier, there's an Aryan nation. They're probably
You're just gonna, it's never going to go away, right?
No.
Yeah, if we can't take over your nation, we'll just get rid of it.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God.
We had a bunch of other people. We should mention Clay Miles is part of our first network, which was the Damaged Goods Network, and we got to give those guys a shout too. It was a big part of the evolution of this show, and so right now I think we're on a bit of a hiatus. But if and when the Damaged Goods Network picks back up, we'll be in full support of them.
Absolutely.
We can't thank them enough for
Absolutely.
everything they did for us. Clay Miles was and is a part of that network, and it's great to see his career launching now. That tour he was doing wasn't just a tour. He was touring breweries and wineries.
Yeah.
So,
It's called the Brewery Tour.
it was amazing.
Nice.
And the guy was basically going to breweries, getting drunk, and doing jokes.
And doing jokes.
And getting paid for it, whereas we just do it for free and get asked to leave.
Yep.
It really, Clay's a fantastic stand-up. He's a seasoned pro. He's well-known throughout the area. And the fact that he knows somebody we knew from up here
Yeah.
just indicates just how good he is.
Yeah.
Right. So, Clay, one last shout and a big toast in the middle to Mr. Clay Miles.
Clay
and to thank you
Miles.
for the shout.
Clay motherfucking Miles.
Yeah.
It took us 100 episodes. Maybe by like 112, 115, we'll get you on.
Yeah. Right?
See what happens, but you keep buckling up those Depends, brother.
Yeah.
If you want a deal, you and Dave can go in on a Groupon.
I was going to say, I think they're called Definitelys now, right? That's what we decided.
That's right.
That would be a poop on. But that kind of got me thinking, just, 100 episodes. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a big deal. Chuck and Brad busted our balls. They're, 400
Yep.
or whatever.
Yeah, they're 425.
But it got me thinking about 100 episodes. And, I've been with the show about 30-ish, officially.
Yep.
100's a big number. I want to put it in a little bit of perspective. Right. So there's some other shows, not necessarily podcasts, that still last to this day, that people still talk about, that never got to 100 episodes. Star Trek was one of them. The original Star Trek never got to 100 episodes.
Yeah.
From the 60s, still talked about today. Columbo, another one. That hit 68. And then we start to get some of the bigger networks with TV shows. Oz, 56. The Sopranos, one of the best shows ever made, 86 episodes. The Shield was at 89. The Wire hit 60. Entourage, 96. Dexter, 96. Mad Men hit 92. Breaking Bad, which I think a lot of folks would argue is the best show that's been ever made,
including myself.
Yes.
62.
Huh.
Sons of Anarchy hit 92. These are all shows that run about an hour, hour and a half at their best.
Yep.
That's what we do every week. We've been doing it for 100.
Yep.
Some other famous things that didn't make it to 100. Rip Torn, Tim Conway. Doris Day and Carol Channing got close. They got to 97. John Singleton only got halfway there. He hit 51 and then called it.
I'm just curious, did you include the pedophile from Glee? Because he only made it to 34.
No.
But I just wanted to say pedophile from Glee.
No. Yeah. And Mean Gene Okerlund, one of Brad's favorites, only made it to 76.
Right?
We hit 100. I think it's pretty memorable, depending on how you look at it. It's dedicated, it's memorable, it's worth noting, but all those shows that people still talk about never made it to 100, and we've hit it.
Should we tap out?
But you said Mean Gene.
I did.
Here's this.
Holy balls!
That's right. 100 episodes. Mean Gene.
Holy balls. 100.
Of all the nice words that are said about us tonight, I think those are the most important.
Yeah.
They're the ones I'll be saying when I go to bed tonight. Mostly because they'll be stuck to my leg in my sauna of a bedroom.
Well, at least it's not some fat guy's ball stuck to your face in the middle of a field.
Right,
Well,
yeah.
That or me teabagging Gordon Ramsay. Honestly, there's been 2 themes running through tonight. Actually, 3. There's been Craig's blatant and disregard of other cultures. There's been
He's just trendy.
Me hating furniture people. And then Brad's very close and intimate relationship with testicles, both his own and others.
Speaking of an intimate relationship with testicles,
I suppose we were.
We met these guys in the beginning, and we supported them, and they've supported us since the get-go. And we got a clip, and here it is. This is Cycle.
Oh, Cycle.
What up, fellas?
Gentlemen,
Pirate hookup?
congratulations, boys.
On your 100th episode
Yes,
of Needless
sir.
to Say. How'd you do it? Congratulations, you fucks.
I'm so surprised you lasted 100 fucking episodes of Brad, but congratulations for the rest of you. You have a miserable existence from now on.
Yep.
Jay, do you have anything you'd like to say in closing?
I'm going to give him a cycle rim shot. Yeah. Hey, fellas.
Now, I'd like to just say their recording skills in the studio with their music is way better. Nah, that was awesome. We got that from the guys who did it. Kaz did it on his phone. Sent us a video. That's why I pulled it from the video.
Yeah, no, and they sent some audio too. It doesn't matter. I think the vibe was there. We have what I'd like to call a symbiotic relationship.
Yes.
We feed off each other's misfortunes. No, we don't actually do. We have a good time with them. They're really good guys. Great musicians. They were our first big interview. And I think that's why it's extra special that they did this for us, because we didn't think at the time that being on our show was that much of a get.
Right.
They were a local band, but they had some local push, and people know them. I mean, Kaz, I've known Kaz about 12 years now, and he and I have become very good friends, and he's known around the area as a musician. And watching them create original music to that caliber is tremendous. And the fact that they would acknowledge a show like ours is as much an honor as anything.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these guys are getting played on the radio nationally, throughout. Yep. I mean, they're being played in Vegas on that, Seth had posted that thing about the radio station in Vegas. I don't know what the name of it is because it's in Vegas and I don't give a shit. But they're being played across the country, well deserved.
Yeah,
being played.
They're writing great music.
They're fucking good.
And their new album, from what I get, is their most diverse and their most professional stuff yet.
Yeah.
And so I don't doubt it for a heartbeat. Now, I don't know what that shot at me was all about, especially coming from Joe, the quiet one. What was that all
That was
about?
Seth.
That was not Seth, was it?
Yeah, it was Seth.
Well, Seth, stop sounding like Joe. You're the singer, for Christ's sake.
Now, the funny thing is, I got to talk to Seth. I'd like to get a T-shirt.
Yeah, I was going to say, their recording skills tremendous. Their distribution skills are You can buy all those souvenirs, and whether or not you get them is irrelevant, over at cyclemusic.com. Just kidding, guys. We fucking love you.
Fucking
And
love
we're going to
them.
have you back on. We're going to do a regular show with you guys where you just fucking hang out with us.
Exactly.
And maybe do a little performing because you are a bunch of trained circus monkeys and you're going to do it. And that's that. No,
Nice.
seriously, thank you all. Dave, you got to meet these guys.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
excited. You know, the first big interview with someone like that has a little more, like you said, reach than just
Yes.
someone local. Now, that was the first big interview on the show. I'm curious. I'm going to throw it to you guys right now since you've been here from the start. Some of the favorite things that have happened on the show or that we've said that's going on. I want to kind of go around and I've got some thoughts of my own. A lot of them since I've joined, but I have a few ideas. But I'm curious what you guys think is like. What were some of the favorite things that have gone on over the last 100 episodes?
You mean like the firsts? Like the first time we did this? The first
Sure.
time we did
Yeah.
that?
Go with that. Why not?
Because that's kind of how I approach this episode. I kind of had the vibe that we should go back and acknowledge the first accomplishments on all different levels.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned Damaged Goods. That was the first
Yes.
time we joined other podcasts and we felt like, you know what? People are
We're
listening
part
to
of a
this. Yeah.
network.
Sure.
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
part of this and we're part of a bigger community. And I think that's one of the things that makes Chuck and Brad so good and so successful is they always embrace the community
Yes.
of podcasters.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And, you know, I still hate the term podcast. I will never get used to the term. But I like the fact that there is a group of people all doing what we're doing. And we're all trying for the same thing. We're just trying people to get people to hear our words. You know?
Yeah.
I would say, since I'm already talking, shock. I think the most religious moment for me for this whole thing was the moment we had recorded 5 episodes in the bag and they were sitting there and Craig and I couldn't decide if it was the right time to throw the switch and put them on the web. And he would call me, be like, "Are we going to do it today? We're going no, next week, not today, not today.
Yeah.
I was nervous.
Just putting it off.
I was putting it off because I'm like, we haven't had that great episode yet. I want people to hear it. And then finally one morning, it was a Saturday. I was up unreasonably early, about like 11. And Craig had left 9 voicemails on my phone. He's like, "We're ready. Are we doing this? Are we doing this?" And I finally said, "Fuck it," and I threw the switch. And suddenly we were out there. And then I watched statistics like an hour later. I started checking statistics, and naturally they were flatlined at 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. We haven't really done anything yet. So I created a Facebook page, and I created a Twitter account. I created all that. And then finally somebody wrote us back, and this stupid bitch.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Because our tagline for the longest time has been, "Does the world really need another podcast starring 3 guys in a basement?"
Yep.
And according to, at the time, Brad, Craig, and Mike, yes, it does. And she writes back on Twitter, "No, it doesn't."
And right away, I was like, "Fuck you, Morticia," because she was like one of those, like she was like a goth.
Oh yeah,
chick.
But even goth people looked at her and were like, "What's wrong?"
But it was funny. She was actually like ribbing us.
Yeah.
And I did it back, and she actually was cool about the whole thing.
Yeah, but it's still a hell of an introduction to the web with us.
But it was just funny, yeah.
But if you think back now, the way the show's going to where it is, that introduction, like that welcome to the internet, is very fitting for this show.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you guys, we don't need you. I'm still going to listen.
No, one of my favorite things, I mean, like talking about first of the episode was Dave's first episode coming in with us. And it was hopes it was going to be the 4 of us, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
It hasn't turned out that way. But it was just, you were such an awesome addition to the show. It brought it to a different level, I thought.
We were at a weird breaking point, I think. And it wasn't just because, I mean, Mike's life, we already addressed it a few episodes ago. Mike's life has taken him in different directions. We saw Mike last night. We had a great time with Mike last night at the concert.
Yeah, all of our relationship with Mike outside of right now is unchanged.
Yeah. It's not, exactly.
We're having a good time. I just, it's become more clear than ever. I mean, I guess we can acknowledge it now. Mike was invited tonight.
Yes.
The 4th microphone was set up. Mike chose not to come tonight for reasons that are his, and then that's that, and they're certainly valid ones. I won't lie to you and tell you I'm not disappointed. I really would have loved to have celebrated 70 episodes that we did with him.
Yeah.
Because there is no Brad, Craig, and Dave. There is no Needless to Say if it's not for Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, because we couldn't have done that show with just the 2 of us.
No.
And we couldn't have done what the show became without Mike's input. And so, yeah, I'm disappointed. I'm not disappointed at Mike. I'm just disappointed he's not here because I really did want to celebrate with him tonight. And I'm not going to make a bad joke about this. It's just something I sincerely feel. I hope he's listening to this, and I hope he knows how much he meant to this show.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
definitely.
And for me, that would be one of mine. The first is this is going to sound really corny, I think, but
And mine didn't. Go ahead.
no, but like you mentioned that it was kind of a weird time then, and when I first came to sit with you guys, it was right before Christmas of 2018, and I was kind of in a weird place myself. Like I was just kind of hanging out. I didn't really have like social life connections, and I said to my wife, I'm like, "Hey, does Craig still do that show? Can I go hang out with them, do you think?" And she's like, "Yeah, fucking send him a message." So I did, and I fully intended to go to Mike's house and sit on the couch and have beers and just watch you guys do a show. And I showed up, and you guys had a chair and a mic, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. I was like, you're not just gonna sit there, motherfucker.
And
You're gonna be
I
on
know
the
you
show.
struggle because you're so fucking shy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 episodes later, I'm talking about shitting myself, right?
Yeah.
No, but
Also correcting us on everything.
but for me, it was a strange point in my life, and then kind of coming back and doing it a few times, I was like, oh, this is something I can get into. Like I have a thing now every week, and I've got these like you guys to hang out with, and Mike at the time. It was just a lot of fun for me, and every week it's like, all right, I get to go hang out with my buddies and do this show. And,
Yeah.
and for me, it was feeling like I was a part of something for the first time in a long time. So for me, that was kind of my big thing, I guess.
We actually
that's-
just extended Matt's contract in Texas
Yeah.
for another 2 years. So we've got you for a while now. We're good.
He's still recording his one intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's where we're at. I think I'm not going to belabor the Mike thing anymore, but I would like to raise our first toast of the evening
Absolutely.
to Mike.
Yes.
Thank you for making this show what it is.
Thank you,
Yep.
Bull.
And I cannot wait to get your giant cartoon face off my fucking garage
Yeah.
wall. I have a pile of dead moths in here that is more attractive to your fucking cartoon face.
Yeah, it was funny. My son always asks me, like, hey, is Mike the guy with the island on his head? He sees Mike's hairline and he calls it an island.
Yep.
It's more of an isthmus. Craig, spell that.
It's like his mustache, the Isle of Man.
This is the Comb Over Peninsula.
Yeah.
It's like the Isle of Walmart.
But I mean, I did have a ton of other firsts, which was like we just heard from those guys cycle.
Yeah.
That first cycle interview we did with them. Now doing the first one with the fire alarm. When we actually were in the green room with the band, they were performing that night, and we were in the green room with them doing the interview, and the fucking fire alarm in the venue goes off, and they evacuated us.
Of course.
You know, and it was just insane.
It was also unlistenable because of me.
Well, no, because it was loud.
But
It
I had
was
a
just-
microphone there, and you would have thought I was addressing like with a bullhorn. You thought I would have addressing. I'm like, we're back live. I'm clipping now.
Well, the thing-
Were
Doing,
you like Joe Rogan when he first was doing the UFC fights? He held a microphone and yelled.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, but the thing was, is we couldn't hear ourselves.
Yeah, that's
It
tough.
was there was a band playing, and we're in the green room behind the stage, so it was still loud.
Right.
So we're trying to talk to these guys, and it was just crazy. It was just a bad scene. But then we went and did we did a show with them at Kaz's house.
Nice.
You know, we went
Yep.
there, we did it with the band, and it was a great
It
time.
was a great night. They offered us burgers while they were just finishing up their steaks.
Yep. Yeah.
They were quietly moving their plates away,
Yeah.
still chewing what was left of those bones.
At least they made up for it with shirts.
But even other things, yeah, right? Yeah.
I love their logo. It looks like a man's bare chest.
Yeah.
2 hairy nipples.
These cool, wicked cool technology, translucent shirts.
It's like hypercolor, except it's called no color.
Yeah. Oh shit. And then I mean things like we're gonna make like the guys from Nerdy Hub. We did the show. Nobody heard it here because we did their show.
It was
with
their
them.
show. Yeah.
It was their show.
It was
We
the
did
Nerd Entertainment.
It was
Let's get the name right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the
it
name
was-
of the show. Yeah.
But doing that show with them was fun.
Yeah,
That was
a cool
it was
thing.
us sitting there and doing a show with them, and I was like, "This is cool. These guys are reaching out to us to do a show with them." And,
Yeah.
and
we've got a few others from Comic-Con that we haven't delivered on yet.
yeah,
We have
that
to
we
get in
have
touch
to.
with them.
Yeah.
There's at least 2 shows that we made friends with. I think we're approaching a year. The statute of limitations might be up on that.
It might be up.
Say.
But I think, and even that Comic-Con, doing that was incredible.
Yep.
And having Michael Rooker just walk up to our booth.
That was so much fun for me. First of all, for me to watch the videos and then listen to it, that was really cool. But go ahead.
And it was just
the best was when Rooker went and he said, "That's the head of a guy who works." And he pointed his phone to Mike.
And he pointed at
and
Mike.
The irony was palpable.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we were dying. But I mean,
the only thing working was his heart to keep his blood pressure down.
Yeah. But I mean, stuff, and we made a bunch of friends there. We gained a bunch of listeners and some loyal listeners.
Yeah.
It was a great time, that whole thing. And then one of my favorite things was actually our first guest, legitimate, in-studio guest, was Landfill Charlie.
Yes. Yep.
I love that he qualifies as a guest.
But
it's just because we graduated the same year, and then we went to a reunion where I made funny photoshops, and we said, "Hey, let's hang out."
But I mean, he was a guest in the on the show.
Your first
he was
outsider
that
you
sat
brought
in on an episode with us, and he was a big fan of the show, and he sat in with us, and it was great. He drove down from New York,
up.
Up. I keep saying it. Yeah, he drove up from New York. Yeah.
He was in Savannah, South Carolina originally.
I should have went to collage. And took geography.
Filmed a biopic.
Yeah. That I'm good. I still argue that to the end. I'm gonna argue that with you to the end. But I mean, things like that were just all cool stuff, and like I said, meeting people. And
I think you're forgetting one. I think, and nobody acknowledges it as a turning point of this show, but the first time we did the hat.
The hat was big.
Scenes from a Hat was this great improv thing that Drew Carey did on Whose Line Is It Anyway? And actually, they did it before in England. But I mean,
that was one of my favorite bits on that show.
It's an old improv thing,
yeah,
where to prove that you can riff. But we never done it in the context of a show. Everything was so organized, and everything was the idea that we had questions we hadn't seen, and we're able to riff on it and make some of our longest and funniest shows.
Yeah,
I mean, the one and only episode Ron was on. He was there that night. That was a full basement. We had Manny there. We had Ron. And we talked about so many different things with no structure whatsoever. And that episode flowed beautifully.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, and we've gone back to it about half a dozen times since then. And the reason for that is because it lets us kind of flex our creative muscles a little bit and just talk, which is ironic because that was the original spirit of the show.
Yes.
It's a way to give kind of disorganization or chaos direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do something off the cuff with a prompt almost.
Yeah.
And I think we could do the hat every week. If we really wanted to, we could make a hat full of things about the week's events instead of doing the headlines, and we could totally riff on that.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I don't think we could have up until the first time we did it. We were still kind of learning how to do this. So I'm actually feeling really good about the hat, and I interrupted you again because that's something I also did, very much so.
Remember the first time Brad interrupted you?
Yeah.
Episode 1, minute 2. I'm going to stop you right there.
It was actually 4 minutes into the conversation where he asked me to do a podcast.
He's like, at the end of the day, I want to.
I'll tip my hat to that.
Yeah, I know. And yeah, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Yep.
It's like a greatest hits episode. What
Yeah.
is it?
See, I also enjoyed when we did our first international headlines.
Yes.
And we went to Ghana about the former teacher that had the bar stool
sex chair
with the wood dildo on it, and he filmed banging his former student.
Yeah.
Not the fact that was the headline or that it was international, but the guy just owned it. He's like, yeah, that's what I like.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't fuck around. He's like, what? Yeah.
Well, I sanded it. It was fine.
Yeah.
No tweezers were needed.
Isn't that wood treatment called boning?
Yeah.
It just all makes sense now. Way to go, Ghana.
That's pegging.
Yeah.
would love to explain those splinters to my doctor.
Oh, shit.
What'd you do? I went to Ghana. No, say no more. Hang out with a teacher while you were there? Fucking heck. I think I got one more, and it was a little soupy and sentimental, but we had the pleasure on the show twice of saying we have a thing, and I put we in quotes, meaning the three of us. Me, Mike, and Craig were probably 4 episodes into that first 5 where we were like, this isn't sustainable. Are we going to be able to do this every week? And then we kind of just took the handcuffs off and did it.
Yep.
And then things got a little strained, and you came on at the right time, and we got to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so we had 2 firsts with the same thing. Because Craig and I won't lie to you, when Mike started bailing on some episodes and not being into this, and again, not a criticism, just the reality of it, me and Craig are like, I don't think we can do this. And there were a couple other people we were looking at that might have been able to help out, but none of them could have committed. And even you,
I wasn't sure.
You weren't sure, yeah.
Actually, initially, I think I told you guys I could do like every
other week. Yeah.
Yeah, you were like my divorced social life.
Yeah. Yeah. But then you haven't skipped one.
Well, that's because...
And we even did an extra show.
Yeah, right?
We did the Game of Thrones one in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry I missed that. Said no one ever.
No. No, but I was able to do every show because I've got a cool wife, and she's like, just fucking go. Like, I got the kids. I can handle it. No problem. I was like, goodbye.
A cool wife with an absolutely stunning, gorgeous name, I might add.
Pandering.
Yeah. Right?
It's called self-preservation.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But you know what's funny? I think it would be an appropriate time to play this clip because I've known Dave for a while.
Oh, no.
And it's just funny. I always busted your balls right from the get-go about your beard and your flannel shirts. Right? So, I got a little something for you. This is a video. You people are going to get to hear it, but we'll post the video. But we got a little something for you here, Dave.
It's a gift.
Hey, guys. How you doing? This is Richard Karn. So, Dave, Greg, Brad, you guys have reached 100 episodes. Congratulations. That's huge. You know, it took us 4 years to do that. And you guys are already moving on to your next 100. All right. So, Dave, you wear flannel now. Well, it's good, especially in the studio because it can get a little chilly in there, right? So flannel is always a good option. Al Brolin, is that what they're calling you? Is that like James Brolin and Al Borland? Man, just be careful you don't take out the Avengers. You know, we wouldn't want that. All right. Well, take care. Congratulations on 100 episodes. You guys rock.
You got fucking Al Borland
to make a video.
That's amazing. That's fucking amazing.
If anybody, that was the guy who played Al Borland on Home Improvement.
That was
Richard
don't think
Karn.
So, Tim.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
I haven't heard that up until now. I knew about this 8 weeks ago.
Yeah,
that's so good.
So excited by this, and hey, to Richard Karn,
Richard Karn,
absolutely right in the middle.
A video.
That
was fucking amazing.
Sent it from his backyard. He
That's
recorded
amazing.
it on his phone and sent it from his backyard.
That's so cool.
No,
I love that also Richard Karn out in Hollywood also called Craig out on his spelling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing was what happened was that was right. I was talking to him right there, and that was when Endgame was coming out.
Yep.
So when I was typing that, I said Brolin, and it auto corrected it to Brolin. So I immediately responded.
That's a word.
No, James Brolin. The guy
that is not how you spell his name.
The guy who's played
No, Brolin and Brolin are two different things.
Yes. Right. But it auto corrected it to the thing. So I apologized for it.
Yeah.
You know, because I sent it and then I realized it after I sent it.
Like, fuck, I'm never getting this now.
So I apologized for it. And they were like, no worries. But then when he did the video,
he busted your ball.
He busted the ball. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Which was perfect.
That might have been the best $50 the show has ever spent.
Yeah.
And for the record, we spent $38 for the music. I think it was killer.
So
yeah,
good.
Obviously he's not a listener to the show, but it was just if there was ever a way to show you how much we appreciate
that
you
was
there,
very
it
cool.
was. Because
Very
could have had a bunch of celebrities that other people know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have had Wilson for 40.
Yeah.
And I don't mean the guy behind the fence. I mean the volleyball from the movie.
Yep.
But it's pretty cool that they did that. So for the record, we couldn't get audio from some of our very closest friends, but we got one from Al Borland.
That was amazing.
That's why I was like,
flannel never dies, you fuckers.
Yeah. And I said, I gotta see. I told Brett, your wife knew.
Oh, she knew.
Yeah.
Oh,
your wife knew.
Sneaky.
I was like, I'm not gonna fucking be able to take this until fucking then. And I never broke.
I'm impressed.
I kept the secret.
That was pretty
time.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I
But
love it.
That goes to show how much you're appreciated here, brother.
Yeah. Well, now I got to hang out for another 30 episodes at least.
I can't wait till he gets
Minimum.
Barbra Streisand to talk about big noses.
Oh shit!
That was excellent.
Yep.
Fucking Richard Karn. I don't think so, too.
And he looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
The guy hasn't aged a fucking day.
No, he hasn't.
Well, I mean, he looked like death 25 years ago.
Yep.
I'm just kidding, Richard, on the off chance you did check us out. Pretty sure you're too busy recording $50 videos for other pathetic shows like ours. But no, honestly, that was a good one because I've seen some weak ones.
Yeah.
Where they just come in and they say the absolute minimum.
Yeah,
No,
it's
he
like
was-
they
He
have
did
a-
a good job.
It's like
He even busted my balls.
Well,
Yeah.
he should.
Like, and he should. And I, like right away, they're like, "No worries, don't worry about it."
I
It was
kind of
no big
really hope he listens to that 7 minutes.
deal. Oh God.
Holy shit, I had no idea my name was attached to this show. Tim Allen was in jail for drug possession and trafficking. And he was less of a risk than Craig.
Public apologies coming fucking next week. It's a big scandal.
Disney made
Disney public apology. You got to build a memorial. Is what you got to do.
Disney made Song of the South and hired a cocaine trafficker for their movies.
Yeah.
And he won't do this. He's be like, "Oh no, that show's too much."
Yep. Oh God.
Mr. Whitebird on my shoulder.
Imagine next week we see Richard Karn hashtags the stove is on.
I'm a huge fan of this show, and my agent dropped me.
Fucking incredible.
Fucking Alan Ball comes in out of nowhere and be like, I get you, brother.
I tried.
I saw the message you wrote him. I wouldn't have responded to you either.
How'd you see the message?
Because it was in our mutual account.
Oh yeah.
We have a group account.
Yeah.
And I saw what you wrote to him. You started off by calling him Mr. Ba.
Well, I had to.
No,
I
you
was
didn't.
being polite.
This guy hasn't earned a Mister.
Nah, I was being polite.
He barely earned Alan.
Best movie ever made. I don't know what you're talking about. Birdemic.
It stopped being cute, and now it's just
No,
annoying.
Birdemic is fucking still. I made Taryn watch it last week.
Okay, that's she's underage. It's just torture.
She's
Just
16.
stop
She
it.
loved
I would much rather watch you like tying a dog outside.
She just
in the
kept
winter.
looking at me going, "Where are the birds? When are the birds coming out?" Like, you're gonna wait a little while.
We work up to that.
Yeah.
In the meantime, enjoy this completely stilted and
this is
unbelievable
all-
dialogue.
No, I was like, this is all character development and plot fucking.
Wow, you use those words, huh? Child abuse. It's fucking child abuse. You're a horrible uncle
The best
and a worse person.
I've been trying to get Chuck to watch it for the longest. Chuck's a filmmaker, and I've been trying to get him to watch it for the longest fucking time.
The fact that we went 40 minutes on Birdemic has to be considered a highlight of the first 100 episodes.
Yeah.
So we talked about that god-awful movie out of order.
Yeah.
Like, we kept saying, and then everything we talked about, both Craig and I were like, oh, no, wait, the best thing is, if somebody was actually looking for the best thing about that movie, they weren't going to find it. Because we kept telling them in 19 different directions. They'd be like scanning the disc, looking for other track.
Scanning the disc. It's not on TV.
That's true. They did not waste plastic on this one.
Watch it on Hulu or Fire TV, like way in the back. Like there's a code for it.
That movie was pressed in bamboo, and that's it.
Well, at least he can play it in his home country.
All right.
Oh,
It didn't make sense when you watched it in order.
No, it didn't.
I watched it with Craig and texting the whole time, and that's the only reason that movie worked. So, Alan Baugh, you missed out on the opportunity to have your largest audience yet.
Yep.
And I'm going to leave it out there, man. And I'm sorry if this is offending Craig, but I think you've offended enough people. You deserve something back.
Once again, thank you to Richard Karn.
Yes.
Al Borland.
Al Borland.
Yep. My flannel hero.
Yep.
Do we have any more audio clips?
We got a couple.
Okay, well, let's play one now just for the hell of it.
Yeah, so we do have an audio clip from another friend.
One of our favorites.
And a loyal listener, Joey B.
Anybody who's paid attention to Facebook knows that Joey comments on everything we say, whether or not we want him to. Joey's a quality guy. He told me the difference between uptown and downtown Warren.
Yep.
Was it one street?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It was 2 letters, to be honest with you. That was it. In addition to that, he's a big fan of the 4th of July, so he's totally on the top of my list right now. But Joey B., we can't thank you enough for everything you've done. I know Dave's got a few sentiments for you as well. He hasn't met you, but I know he wants to.
Yeah, no, I want to apologize for the Tiva comments. I know you don't wear Tivas. They're probably Birkenstocks. You you kayak paddling, never working a job, but always on vacation looking for Taylor Swift on this heavy metal grounded show. Sorry, Joey B. Love you.
Yeah, the Taylor Swift thing I don't get. We were at Iron Maiden last night, and he commented.
Oh, that's it. He's never listened to another episode.
I do like the idea of Birkenstocks, because down in Virginia, he's like Jesus.
That's right.
He just walks through, and Jesus wore Birks.
Yeah, they're cork, so they'll float in the water when he capsizes in his kayak when he's supposed to be working.
All right, let's hear what Joey had to say. Come on.
All right, fellas, put your beers in the middle of the table real quick, because I got a quick toast. Needless to say, your podcast fucking sucks. Not sure why we're wasting our time with this damn show when you should just end it now. Nobody listens, nobody laughs. Just the 3 of you guys sitting there, blowing smoke, vaping, and cracking beers open, week in and week out. Not even the crickets that I hear chirping in the background laugh. Or like listening to what they're listening to. Fuck it, guys. I'm just kidding. You guys are funny as shit, and congratulations on 100 episodes of Needless to Say. Here's to 100 more, boys. Cheers.
All right. Thank you, Joey.
That was pretty awesome.
Thank you. Yes.
Joey, awesome. We'll never accuse you of wearing a neon Velcro strap shoe again.
Yeah.
That was, as we say in the industry, our bad.
Yeah. Nah. I love Joey B.
He's
a great guy.
Into the show. He's into everything we post. It's, if, like Brad said, if you haven't listened before, you're getting into, we do a lot of ball busting. So
yep.
Anyone that listens, you're included.
Yep, that's it. Yeah.
So buckle up.
Well, you heard the audio.
Yeah, right.
He's not shy about that.
No. That's right. Nah, Joey's a great guy, man.
It's
awesome.
going to be a shame.
Thank you very much,
it's
Joe.
going to be a shame when his hotel company ships him off to Honduras for his next change of scenery. But Rhode Island will always be here waiting for you.
I just
buddy.
hope it's not the Dominican. If it is, don't drink anything.
Or maybe do and report back.
Call me. I'll just ship you crates of freaking water. Don't worry about it.
All right, so that was one of our favorite people.
Yep.
And we treated him with all the respect that he deserved.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, Joey. I'm kidding. We're in a mood tonight. But we should probably talk about some of our favorite moments. We talked about a lot of our firsts.
Yeah.
A lot of the things we enjoyed first. Obviously, Dave had a different perspective coming in.
Yep.
But overall, let's start with Dave. Let's talk about our favorite moments on the show. And I'm going to task you with something. I want you to pick something from your time here and also from before.
Oh, I've got a few from when I joined. One of the first that I thought of was Nopokyo. Fucking poor Henry Winkler.
Yep.
We set out one night to find a celebrity we liked, and we trashed him.
Yeah.
The guy we liked for
love
20 minutes.
It was great. I'm watching the new season of Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
And they talk about how Henry Winkler is dyslexic. And I'm just sitting there going, no Pokio.
No
Pokio. I'm sitting on the couch, like staring into the distance, just going, no Pokio. No Pokio. The whole episode was designed to trash Luke Perry.
Yes.
Who also didn't deserve it.
No. Yeah. No, he didn't.
He did absolutely nothing wrong.
He fucked up and died.
Yes. Yeah. How dare you? How dare you go and die on our watch?
Yeah.
But we took him to task, and then Henry Winkler made a very casual admission in passing.
Yeah.
That, oh, by the way, I'm an undiagnosed dyslexic, and we ran with that. We destroyed Ralph Malph.
Yep.
We destroyed the entire coolness factor of the Fonz. And I think we even took
no
shots at Welcome
that.
Back, Kotter.
Yeah. No, we just destroyed him. Like, Winkler's a good guy. Fuck him, and just piled on.
He's a great guy. I love the guy to death. Man. He's just the most genuinely nice person you'll ever meet.
And you love the guy to death. If he heard that audio, it'd probably end that way.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we'd make fun of him for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I had kind of a three-way tie because the things I've been invited and part of, it was that when we covered the poor Marv that melted like butter into the Chad Thai, the restaurant below.
Bravo.
That, and then the story about, us walking into the Native American McDonald's.
Yeah.
Those were, because those generated genuine belly laughter between the three of us, where we actually had to stop to take breaths so we could continue.
Yeah.
What I love about that is that we've finally given you an avenue in which you can tell that story.
Yeah.
I feel like you've been sitting on that, like a hemorrhoid that's waiting to burst. That thing just sat there for years.
And you two just poked it.
Yeah.
Poking hemorrhoids since 2017.
Yeah.
Baby.
Oh, shit.
I can't believe that I had never heard this. I don't know you that well until this show, but I knew that that's the kind of story you tell people in mixed company.
That's exactly right.
And you didn't get a chance to, so if for nothing else, I'm glad we were here to allow you to tell that story.
I could tell it unedited. When you're talking to people you don't really know, you hold back a little bit. Not here.
Well, how your dad immediately saw Native Americans and shuffled you to a bathroom and then out an emergency exit. Yeah, that doesn't portray you badly at all.
Yeah. It's like, we got to get out of here. I don't have my scalping knife.
I would love to hear the same story, but in Japan, where he runs into a McDonald's full of ninjas.
You would never see him.
Yeah. You wouldn't even know.
They're all hiding behind the fryer.
It would look like an empty McDonald's.
Yeah.
Not Native Americans, though. They were just right out there in the open.
Yep.
Just trying to sell Big Macs and make it minimum wage. Yeah. And your family came in and completely made them feel terrible about themselves. They didn't want to hurt you, other than whatever the food would have done.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And I think if I had to pick a favorite, I don't know if I could pick a favorite moment from before I joined, but one of my favorite episodes that I listened to was when you guys did the flashback one.
39.5.
I think it was tagged 40 or something, but that was one of my favorites because of how you edited in the music and stuff, like you saw the whole sitcom,
like a cheesy sitcom, with the dream music.
Yeah. So I just giggled the whole time because I could almost picture it, almost like I can almost see the episode more than hear it, and just how I thought that was a lot of fun because it was a good way to
see me answering a fake phone.
Yep.
That was
we talked about that too.
One of the dumbest things I've ever done, where we're recording and I'm talking into my hand, and at one point I got angry and hung up.
And, slammed it with aggression. Slammed the fake phone down.
And then at another point, I noticed that I was talking into my hand again, and instead of just stopping, I throw it aside. Which was basically just me opening my fingers.
Yeah.
But I symbolically tossed the phone aside, never breaking character, all because I was fake talking to Charlie. That may go down as one of the worst moments in my life, period. Show or no show, right? That was not a banner moment for me.
Oh, it was a fun one to listen to because you got a real good sense of all the favorites and fun things that had happened up to that point. So I don't know. I just enjoyed listening to it because it gave you a good sense of what the show was.
Yeah. All right.
So
exactly.
I think that'd be my pick.
All right, Craig. What are your favorites? Leaving out one obvious one that I think we all agree on.
Was finally learning what a trend is.
Yeah.
Is that the one?
I'm pretty sure our listeners are going to let you know soon
enough. But One of my favorite things was when Mike was on the show, his progression from pedophile to unemployed waste to working so hard he can't sit down and talk.
Yeah. It was an exponential rise if there ever was. He went from he was counterproductive.
Yeah.
He wasn't even non-productive. He was counterproductive. He sat on a couch and moved backwards.
Yeah.
And then he started working numerous jobs, but none of them really got him going. It was clear that Mike's the kind of guy, when he believes in the work that he's doing.
Yeah.
He did. And so he's finally got that job now, and now we don't fucking see him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's we saw him yesterday. He was answering his phone. He was doing work things when he was hanging out in the tailgate party at an Iron Maiden concert.
Yeah.
Like, he's fucking into this now, you know?
Yeah, no doubt.
But the pedophile thing is
like,
legit.
Bitch owes me money.
And
Is Mike going to have to slap a bitch?
No. And by bitch, we mean 8-year-old girl.
You take her Barbies away right now.
It was like seemingly every week I'd say something. Oh yeah, a bunch of children were shot down, and he'd be like, "Children."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit!
It never failed. More consistent than gravity.
No, but like, and I said it before, but just the fact of with Comic-Con and meeting people and stuff, and that was one of my favorite moments. Through, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Through all of it, and then segments is so many that I couldn't. It's tough to pinpoint. I could make a list 1,000 miles long of 100.
No one would be able to understand it.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Look at these hieroglyphics.
Is this Sanskrit? There's a Dead Sea Scroll in Brad's garage. How'd that get here?
Something tells me if you write something normally in Hebrew, it means something entirely different. They read it right to left.
He's the only living person in the Western Hemisphere that can write cuneiform. Accidentally.
Yeah. Give a monkey a typewriter.
He'll write this show.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah.
I gotta say, I think one of my favorite developments on this show was one of my least favorite until I heard it back. And that was my ongoing reputation as a homosexual male. Thankfully, that has subsided. Nothing against our gay listeners. It's just not who I am.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be who you are.
But it was just so funny.
Well, it really was, because everything I said
just
had a connotation.
Yeah, and it was just like, and we're like,
that was 90% of it was a 3-episode stretch. Way back, it was in the winter. I remember that because one of them was me being plowed.
Yeah, he hired a guy to plow him.
Yep.
Yeah,
I hired a guy to plow me out, and that was it. And my driveway was clean, spotless, and roomy. Yep. It was an unfortunate episode that turned out to be something really fucking funny. But then I'm in New York, and I'm looking around for a bar called Blue Ruin, and I found something else. And this all happened. A lot of people think I made that shit up. I did not.
No.
Okay.
I was getting text while it was happening.
Yeah. This was a real thing. I couldn't find this fucking bar because they don't have it. They do now, ironically.
You have to go in the back?
They didn't. No. Nice. Nice. I almost let that go. Son of a bitch. I ain't that quick. They have a sign over their place now. It says Blue Ruin. But at the time, they were relatively new, and it was just known in the neighborhood. And so I asked for Blue Ruin, and they sent me this place called Blue, which was different. Had a video store up top, and it was run by a guy named Vahan.
And it was meant as a verb.
Yeah.
Well, you and Mike made the same joke. I'm glad we did it. I'm glad we did the segment. It didn't really portray me in the best light. Because I'm not gay. I think I'm an embarrassment to gay people everywhere.
It was so fucking funny.
They don't want you.
They don't. They don't. Why would they?
Yep.
Too much rug burn involved. Here's Brad. Nice, but you'll chafe.
Yeah.
And the only other moment wasn't something that happened on the show. It happened on the one night where everybody was so fucking frustrated with cancellations and not doing the outlines and everything else that we didn't do the episode.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of saying we never skipped a week. We did.
Yeah.
We skipped one right early on in Dave's tenure because we couldn't get our shit together.
Oh, that's right.
Okay,
Yep.
and it was a cold night. It was rainy. It was nasty. Nobody was motivated, and everybody was pissed off. And Dave was even looking like he was like, "What did I just join here?"
Yeah.
And Mike had canceled again. I won't lie about that. And it was another 11th hour cancellation. We would just fucking had it. And so I said, "Fuck it. This is snake bitten. We're not doing the show tonight."
Yeah.
And I took my family out to dinner at, ironically enough, the Longhorn Steakhouse.
Yep.
And I was pissed. I asked Melissa. I was pissing blood the whole dinner. I wasn't nice to my kids. The whole thing was just off. And then
As opposed to all the other times you're nice to your kids.
I'm a fantastic father.
I'm just kidding.
I'm full of love. I get a little bit on you.
I'm just kidding.
But I get up to pay the bill. And, they're already walking out to the car to warm it up because it's cold as fuck. And in the bar area of the Longhorn, somebody was wearing our shirt.
Oh, shit.
And
yeah,
I didn't approach him because he was in the middle of a big conversation, and I didn't want to be the jitbag that went, "Hey, you listen to Needless to Say? That's awesome." And I wasn't going to say, "Hey, I'm the guy on the right of the shirt that you're wearing." So I just let it go. I said, "This is your moment. This justified everything." I called Craig immediately.
He called me immediately. He was still walking out to the car.
Yeah.
Do it. He's like,
and we've never mentioned it on the air.
Yeah.
We never discussed this. But somebody, rando, in Seekonk, Massachusetts.
Yep.
At a third-rate steakhouse that Craig takes his wife to on the regular.
Where typically our fans would be.
Yeah. Somebody bought our shirt and wore it out in a public venue and on a Friday night. And I said, "You know what?
Yep.
That's pretty fucking awesome." So
yeah, that was cool.
Have we arrived? No.
No.
I love
not
your
even close.
optimism.
Yeah.
Someone threw that in a dumpster and this dude found
He
it.
found it. Yeah.
Yep. And he also found $4 to buy the happy hour beer that they were serving at the Longhorn.
He was just trying to layer up.
Yeah. The Longhorn iced
But it was just cool to even get that phone call from Brad because I heard it in his voice. He was like, "Dude, you know, like holy shit!" And like you said, this was right after canceling the show.
I thought we were in trouble.
Night.
I thought that your presence was not throwing off the balance of what we were doing, but maybe we made a mistake in trying to do 4 people.
Yep.
And it wasn't anything on you. I said maybe this is just it. Maybe this is it. And so that was a reaffirming thing. And it's a little Hallmark movie, but I really don't fucking care. It worked for me. And so that was that. But I think we all had one segment. If we all had to agree, since Christmas, when Dave joined, there's one segment that stands out.
Yeah.
Was it what I'm thinking? Like, this was my first episode, if it's what I'm thinking of.
It is. You made a hell of an impression.
Yeah. My first official.
The first official episode when we announced that you were now part of the show full time.
What's
fully
weird is
on
I
the
remember, I think, this whole episode without having to go back and listen to it again. I could tell you the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
But go ahead.
Almost verbatim.
I think I know where you're going. Craig?
Meat beef.
Yes. Yes. Fucking meat beef.
Fucking cried loud. And ironically, I listened to it the other day.
Yeah.
Just out of the blue, I was like, I was driving. I had a long ride. I'm like, fuck, I put meat beef on. I click it, and I fucking was laughing so hard. It's fun. It's such a funny episode, but I was there. So to me, it was even more like just the whole thought process.
You
was
relive
going
it
through.
again.
I'm reliving it again. I'm thinking the whole, and it was just so fucking funny.
Best part of that episode was that all of the humor came from us just reading the article.
Yeah.
And not just to ourselves. We read it out loud, almost in full.
Yeah.
I think I skipped 2 paragraphs out of the 7 that were in there.
Yep.
And we read all of the quotes from this guy about his dollar store tinned meat. Or I guess it was a pound store, I guess they call it over there.
Yeah.
But he was at Pound Tree. But he bought tin meat that was shelf stable in a dollar store and was surprised to find a fucking anus in it.
You had the audacity to be upset that it wasn't high quality.
Yeah. He was mad because he had said, I buy 3 or 4 of these and that gets me through the weekend. Buying canned meat. And then he opens it and he goes, well, this tastes like meat, but not meat beef.
Yes. And that was, to me, the funniest.
Oh, no, he said beef. He said this
beef,
tastes like beef, but not meat
beef.
When you're eating something for $1 out of a tin that looks like a fucking sock puppet. Like, you know what you're into.
Exactly.
And it was about that big, too.
It looked like the cow was Jewish and got circumcised.
Yeah.
Like Chuck and Brad mentioned.
Yep.
It
would be a brisket.
It looked like an elbow pad. A brisket.
Yeah.
You motherfucker.
Oh, shit.
Holy fuck.
Look at that.
Oh, God.
They're going to set up a memorial for all victims of this show.
Yeah.
Yep.
And for Craig's, the memorial already exists. But
Fuck, man.
what I was saying was this piece of flesh that was inside his can of tin meat looked like an elbow pad from the 70s NBA.
Yeah.
Just slide it right over there.
It looked like Jenna Jameson was tying her shoe.
It looks like what was left of the guy that didn't shuffle his family out of the McDonald's. See, look at that. Months and months and months later. 7 months later. Still getting some life out of meat beef.
Yeah.
So I encourage everybody at home, if you haven't checked out episode Meat Beef,
Yep.
do yourself a favor and check it out. It's a good tight 90. But if you can't wait, it's the last 20 minutes of this.
Tight about it.
Oh, no. The meat beef itself, a little floppy. A little floppy.
Jesus.
That thing still had a fart in it. Jesus Christ.
I saw it.
That's probably what it sounded like.
My ribs hurt.
I would love to open a can of tin meat, listen to it fart naturally, and then just go, good.
That's how you know it's fresh. When you open it, it goes.
Yeah. It says it right on the can. This cow was improperly slaughtered just days ago. There's a freshness date stamped right on it.
A prize in every can. Hey, look, I got an elbow compression brace.
And it's inflatable.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
Fucking meat beef, see?
See, there it is.
There it is.
All right, Craig, I got to ask you, do we have another piece of audio? One last one?
Yes, we do. We got Shade from Daddy Issues.
Nice.
If there was ever a piece of audio to close out
Yes.
this commemorative episode, it's got to be this one.
It's got to be.
She's been a friend and a supporter for a long time.
Yes.
She's part of the Damaged Goods Network.
Yep.
And a hell of a show.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you really want to go through your workday with a boner,
Yeah. Yeah.
and let's be honest, guys, we all do.
Yep.
And then let's not exclude the ladies. If you're just not damp enough, by all means, check out Daddy. No, I'm just kidding. She's awesome. I can't even joke about her. She's so fucking cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, here it is.
Here it is.
Good evening, gentlemen. It's Shade Queen from Daddy Issues, and I wanted to personally congratulate you for reaching 100 episodes. At your age, stamina is an achievement, and you guys need to wear it like the badge it is. All those long, hard hours are really paying off. I mean, frankly, I'm impressed. This is probably the first time you guys have satisfied a woman in years. So happy 100, needless to say.
All right. I don't think we can do an episode like this without some special thanks. And we mean this sincerely. We bust balls a lot. About people here, people not here, people who are deceased. Yeah, the Cardis are not on this fucking list. But we do want to thank everybody that recorded some audio tonight for us.
Yes.
And I'm just going to name a bunch right now. Christy, love you, kid. Really, everything you do is amazing. Psycho, the guys in Psycho, we got this back and forth with them, but it's all done out of love. They're one of the most talented groups of people we'd ever want to know, whether or not they recorded music.
Yes.
They're just that fucking cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we're thrilled that we're becoming better friends with them, and we look forward to many more episodes, not only with their music, but just hanging out with them as people.
Yep.
I'd like to thank Charlie.
Yes.
Charlie didn't get enough airtime, I think, tonight. If I had to go back and do it again, I would.
Yeah.
Landfill Charlie was a fan when we didn't have that. Landfill Charlie was a friend when we didn't have many of them either.
No.
Landfill Charlie is somebody who actually listened to the episodes and would cite quotes.
Yep.
And for that, we're eternally grateful. I know he's doing his own thing on Long Island right now. We haven't heard from him in a while. That just means he's poised.
Oh, no, we hear from him.
Oh, yeah. We know he's there.
Well, we don't hear from him as much as we see the product of his thought process.
Yeah.
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 Every time he sends a video, I'm like, well, that girl's got a great body. She's got a dick. And yet I still hit play.
Yeah.
I still hit play.
Yeah.
Not just we hit play. I do the same thing. I watch till the end.
Yeah.
I can see the video is 30 seconds long. I don't stop it at 26 seconds.
No.
I watch all 30.
Which would be the best option.
So, right. So for 28 seconds, I'm like, I fucking love Charlie. And for 2 seconds, I want to fucking throttle him.
Yeah.
Can't wait for you to meet him.
Fucking love Charlie.
What Charlie's going to reveal on is he's going to get up here and he's going to try to whip out his dick, and it's just going to be a big vagina. And I think that'll be worth watching for sure. But yeah, Charlie, stop with that. I know what the big reveal is. Just cut the shit out. The one today, she was caressing it. It was like the last 12 seconds of that video.
Right? It's like she was peeling a banana.
Backwards. We got to thank our friends at Grand Evolution.
Yes.
One of the early bands we met, ironically enough, with Cycle. They hooked us up with all their music and all their swag.
Yeah.
And I feel like we need to promote them more. So consider that a resolution for the next 100. Grand Evolution is an immensely talented local band. If you don't like them, you're wrong. Go check them out. I want to thank Manny. And Craig, I'm going to let you take it from here because I think we have a lot of the same people from this point forward.
We do. Sometimes Manny. He was on in the beginning. Sometimes. Yeah, that's where it came in. Great friend of mine. One of my best friends. Love him to death. Thanks for all the shit that you dealt and had to put up with us. Dealt with and put up with. But, of course, Chuck and Brad from the Chuck and Brad podcast.
Yep.
Very supportive. Great group of guys. You know, with them, we've reached a lot of other people through them.
Yeah.
Which has been fantastic. You know, and they're just talented guys. They're good at what they do, and they've helped us out a lot. Also, other people that we've had on the show that
our friend Matt that's down in Texas. Matt from Virginia, formerly of Rhode Island and Massachusetts, now in Texas.
Yep.
And Kayla, for that matter.
And Kayla,
was on
for that
recently.
matter.
Yep.
Your wife.
Yeah.
Mrs. Brad, Melissa. Like to thank her for sitting in when Mike did his first couple of cancellations. You know, me and Brad did an episode by ourselves, but then we did 2 with Melissa. Yep. And she sat in with us, and she actually got me and Brad to almost stop swearing and use words like poop.
Well, I did that the first couple times I was on. I had that the dad language. I said poop, and you two idiots laughed at me. I was like, what?
Yeah, but Melissa made us do that. And it was fantastic.
She also held her own on the group episode.
No,
it was real easy for her, because she's not a demonstrative personality, for her to come into a room full of 7 people when we did that episode.
Yeah.
I felt she held her own by calling you a shit fountain.
Yeah.
A sausage-producing shit fountain. That you are. So, yeah, kudos to my wife for calling you out on your clearly biggest flaw.
Yeah. I mean, Deceased.
Yep.
Yeah. All the bands.
You know, all the bands. I mean, just everybody.
One Slack Mind, Rich. Rich was going to do
He's-
an audio bit for us, and he didn't get a chance to. He's got some stuff going on. But, Rich, we love you. Thank you, buddy. King, thank you. Thank you. And Joey B, since we're in that area of the country. Those bands are from Virginia, and so's Joey B.
Yep. Go see him.
Joey, go see Deceased and One Slack Mind.
Yeah.
I'm saying Joey's going to be working, and 3 bands going to walk in and be like, we're here for Joey B.
Yeah. They're like, no, he's at a Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah.
In Honduras. Joey at the Honduras Ramada.
Yep.
By the airport.
You know, I want to thank everybody, and I hope I didn't miss anybody. But
well, there's one more.
Kid, you're not accepting an award.
No.
Take it easy.
I'd like to thank God.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ the Almighty.
I'm not saying that. I just don't want to. We've had a lot of these people that have reached out to us, and and that have been consistent. There's people that have reached out to us, but these are people that consistently do that. We pay attention. Wayne,
yes,
I'd like to thank Wayne.
Another one of our big supporters.
Another big supporter of us. But I mean, I don't want to leave people out. That's what I'm saying.
Well, they also know we're stupid.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't think there's any surprises here.
We set the bar low enough to not offend anyone by forgetting them.
And since we're on the topic of stupid, one last glass in the middle. Mike, thank you for 68.5 episodes of magic. There was 1.5 episodes where you just disappeared halfway through recording.
Yes.
But all in all, Mike, again, we can't thank you enough for being a part of the first 100. And again, the chair's here. If you want to come back, the chair is here for you.
But I'd also like to thank Dave.
Why?
For coming on and doing it and being good and hanging out with us.
Well, it's a lot of fun for me, and I'll come back to that. I'll circle back, but I want to say that some of my wife's favorite episodes were when Mike was on.
Yep.
When he was like on his game, and she's like, he brought a certain level of like white trash that I enjoyed.
I think we all missed that.
Yeah.
Right, but no, Mike brought that like genuine reaction, didn't think about it, like it was just him.
Yeah.
And when he was on, I think it was some of the better episodes, and the show wouldn't be the show if he hadn't been a part of it.
No, exactly.
And he can be a part of it whenever he wants. I think Brad's made that apparent.
Yes.
And for me, I've thoroughly enjoyed being able to come on and do this stuff, and personally just thank Rayanne, because every Friday night she's wrangling anywhere between 1 and 3 kids by herself.
Yep.
And she made that happen.
You lose them that regularly?
Yeah. well, Rich, I mentioned how, I told you guys originally I could come every other week, and that was because I get my older 2 on every other weekend. So I didn't want to lose time with them. Realistically, she said, hey, what are you going to miss? You're leaving at 7 o'clock. They're going to bed at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly.
And so she said, I got this. And she's done that and allowed me to come here and have this be a big part of my life every week. So she's been a big part of that. My kids, too, who are the older ones, the baby's like, yeah, fuck, whatever, you can leave.
Yeah.
But the older 2 are like, they asked me about the show.
Yeah.
You
done clips for it.
Yeah, right? So it's been, I really...
Fuck your kids.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to your kids.
I suppose we should thank him too.
Yeah.
Right?
EJ? Yeah. So that was just my personal thing. I thank you guys for welcoming me, my wife for making it possible, my kids for being cool with me doing this stuff. So besides that, shout out to my family. Fuck my family.
Yeah.
But EJ, someone we shouldn't forget.
Yeah,
he came on the show,
not.
was a part of it. So, but that was it for me. I don't know if you guys have any other special
EJ's going to be
thanks.
the biggest comic we get until we nail Dolph Ziggler.
Yep.
Once we book him, I don't know, EJ.
Yep.
I'm kidding, brother. All right. I think we're at a point here.
Yeah.
Let's
Clean it up a bit.
Let's do a little housekeeping. All right. Swag is swag. You know where to get it. I want you to go and catch us on Twitter at NTS_podcast, on Facebook at NTS_podcast, and on Instagram, where we've been really active lately. Craig had some poetry last night from Iron Maiden.
I was drinking.
It was fucking epic. When do they know you not to be?
All right. Yep. Point taken.
Yep.
Everything's spelled correctly. Craig's drunk.
Yep.
And it's just because he dropped the alphabet suit.
Yeah.
Shit happens. And then, on Instagram at Needless to Say Podcast, all one word, all lowercase, all really horrible to look at, but we're there. And there'll probably be another video tonight, so check it out. Other than that, boys, I got nothing to do except toast you guys in the middle. I know this whole episode has been one big self-congratulatory, masturbatory thing. But you know what? I feel like we've earned it. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't always been good.
No.
But it's always been us. And it's always been real.
Yeah.
So with that, cheers in the middle.
Cheers in the middle. And I think it's only fitting that for something to last this long and to be this good, it needs a solid foundation. The 2 of you guys have been here since EP1. So I'd like to throw it to you guys to take us out of episode 100 and bring us into the next.
Needless to say,
we said it.